Morning, Sunil.
Hey Rahul, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good, Sunil. What about you?
Good afternoon. Yeah, good evening actually. For you, it's almost night now.
Yeah, it's almost night here.
Are you like in London proper or nearby?
No, it's London proper, I would say, because anyway, nobody is living here in the central London. So,
Oh yeah. What I mean is the metro area, right?
yeah, it's almost metro area. So, my office is in Zone 1. I'm currently in Zone 6, actually. Zone
Mm-hmm.
7, Zone 8 till Zone 7, Zone 8 is there.
Mm-hmm.
So, a bit outside, almost 1 hour, I would say, which took
Yeah.
to office.
No, that's how it is for every major city. Nobody
Yeah,
lives in New York City here,
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. No, nice. That must be weather must be really nice. Long
This
weekend.
time it's very good. I can
Yeah.
see what's temperature.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 22.
Yes.
Very nice weather.
Yeah.
You're not missing India right now.
Yeah, and I think the cricket season is going on there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
So summer's actually best season to be here in UK.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I have some. I've never been there. Actually. I have some relatives there, but just like a quick visit and uh, one like
Yeah.
our visit, we go to Piccadilly Circle or something like that and meet and have some coffee and then leave. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe someday I will explore it on way to India. Like stay there a couple of nights and look around.
Yeah, plan it. We'll meet. I'll be here at least, I'm not sure, but I'm here at least in London for now.
You should come to USA if you are this far. Come and check out USA. I mean, for you, H1 visa should be very easy in case if you think that, right? But yeah, it's a separate discussion.
Depending on the need, actually, because I'm working for anyway that
Yeah,
US bank itself. So sometime it happened that they are asking to travel me. So these
right,
things are keep on happening. We'll
right,
see
right.
if any situation arrives.
Yeah.
Idle.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. What about you?
I'm doing good as well. Thank you.
Yep. So we'll give some time, 2 3 minutes, 4 minutes might be. Let's other also join. Then we'll start here the Q&A section, question and answer,
Okay.
if there are any.
Yeah,
Obviously.
sure.
Okay, so I've given 5 minutes. So I think let's start. People will be joining. Okay, so a few of the people are already working actually. So might be that's the reason that they have requested that they will be referring the recordings mostly. So that's the reason they might not be joining. Okay, so we can start. Okay, so I'll take questions from both of you. I think yesterday anyway that was just a starter. Okay, so both of you already got AWS, the solution architect class. I think Sunil and Adil. I don't think there should be any outstanding question, but yeah, still I'm open. If you do have any question, please feel free to ask. I'll happy to answer, and then I'll move it. Yeah.
I have no questions.
Thanks, Adil. Anything new from you, Sunil?
No, nothing from the yesterday.
Okay, that's great. So let me share my screen. Okay, so as I said that I'll go for, because I need to make sure that the people who are on the recording, they also should be for them as well, we should complete. Okay, because Nasima didn't join, so I'm not very sure what level of experience he have. So she's also referring the recording. Then one more person who is he's also referring the recording. So I'll go as per plan, right? As I said. So I think yesterday what we have covered, we have covered these things, right? So I've covered this introduction to cloud computing, virtualization, scalability. I told you that I'll be covering in the coming days. Okay, and I said that we'll go for AWS introduction, right? So yesterday we have done our environment setup. A prerequisite, I told you, right? Just there is one or two things was needed. Key creation was needed, and then 30 we need, right? And if you have terminal, more than enough. Okay, so so lab setup, environment setup, we have already done it, right? So what we are going to do it, I'll go through now of AWS setup. Okay, so rather I would say that the AWS introduction. So just mind this. This is very short introduction that I'm going to give you. It's just a summarization of entire AWS. You know that the AWS is very big, right? Both of you are coming from AWS solution architect. You might have already, explored how big a lot of services, lot of industries running around AWS. So it's a very big action. So what I'm going to cover, I'll just pick the small bits, okay, and maybe half an hour, 45-minute max to max. I'll try to cover you. Then down the line in coming days, we will be discussing these things one by one. Okay, in detail. Okay, we'll go one by one services like what EC2 is, what S3 bucket is, right? All these things will cover one by one. So hopefully we'll be able to cover. Okay, so before we go to AWS introduction, let's log in as well, so that I'll keep showing you.
Rahul, shall we log into and work along? Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So in
Okay.
this one, actually, I'm not going to. I'll just show you, Sunil. But it's always
Okay.
good that you have the control of your portal. Okay, so that you can correlate, right? So if I'm
Okay.
saying something S3, I'm trying to show you something, you should be able to correlate. Okay, this is going to be very basics. Okay, very basics. I would say, a very
Okay.
basics one, but I'll just show you. I'm not going to do it anything right away. In
Okay.
class, in lesson 2, today itself, when I'll covering lesson 2, then I'll be doing, and then you guys can follow me, depending, right? So it's up to you. If you want to
Okay.
follow with me, you can follow with me, and otherwise, if you want to do, someone wants to do at the later point of time, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. I would like to follow, but yeah, sounds good.
Okay,
This
that's fine.
I got
Anyway,
this
I'll
part,
give
so no problem.
that much window. I'll give Sunil, though, that you can easily follow.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to cover, as I said, I'll be just covering a very basic one of AWS. What exactly AWS is? Okay, so remember, yesterday when we discussed, it was not AWS. We were not talking about AWS, right? So yesterday it was completely focused on cloud computing. I told you, right, cloud computing is a baseline. Okay, on baseline of cloud computing itself, we are building the different cloud providers. So AWS, I would say AWS is a cloud provider. Okay, so AWS, Google, Oracle, Azure, all are the cloud providers actually. Okay, so using these cloud providers are the companies actually which are providing you cloud computing. Okay, now what is cloud computing? That we discussed yesterday already, right? So you might be, till now you might be, in situation where you can give your answer that, okay, why should we go for the cloud computing, where we should look for cloud computing, like all the questions, right? How, where, why, what. Hopefully these things are answered now already. Okay, now who is Amazon? I think I don't need to brief you, right? You might be already aware that Amazon is a big brand now. Almost everybody is aware about it. Everybody have been gone through their portal for some other reason, might be some purchasing something. Okay, so Amazon have their history, right? So Amazon is basically, they have started as a e-commerce company, actually electronics commerce company initially, in US. They have history of, a long back. Jeff Bezos is still there. He's, I think, chairman CEO for now for Amazon. So the Amazon is the parent company actually for AWS. Okay, so Amazon is the parent company for for the AWS. Okay, so they have some history. They have some these kind of history, like, uh, uh, when it got started, it got started in somewhere 1995. Okay, and then initially they have started with some this e-commerce things. Then we don't worry about the Amazon, right? We don't have to worry about the Amazon. So what we are looking for the history of AWS. So AWS got launched initially in 2006. You can see, right, their history is somewhere in 2006. So 2006 was very early time. Okay, so that's the same time when the VMware was there in the market. So at the same time, AWS, Amazon have came up with the cloud computing solution. Okay, but the booming of cloud, I would say it's somewhere, I think, 2010. After 2010 itself, the cloud computing have started picking up the speed. Okay, so initially AWS was there, then different players came, but still I would say I'm not very sure about the current data. But as for my understanding, I think the uh, almost 60% market must be AWS must have right now. Okay, so not sure. You can search the numbers actually, but I'm pretty sure that Amazon is still leader in the cloud computing. Okay, and uh, Azure and the Google. I think Azure might be the second number, and Google is the uh, third number. What is the current number? I think current market capitalization of cloud computing. Yeah. Okay, here you go, right? So Google is in doing a top in 2019. Okay, I don't think that's correct number. AWS should be on top. That's a SaaS service they are telling about actually. Market share actually, right? Market share you have to look for. So if you see here, there's a huge difference, right? In 2000, okay, market share, if I have to search, okay, so only 2018 data is there. Still, you can see there is a huge, I think there must not be this much difference. They are picking up very fastly. Okay, these guys are also picking Microsoft and Google. I think Google might be the second number because Google have picked up like anything. Okay, recently, but still you can see in 2018 there is a huge difference, right? Amazon and if you talk about Microsoft, so on Microsoft and Amazon, that's two main competitors are there. If you talk about them, almost three time market shares they have. Okay, that's a huge number actually. Okay, and if you talk about Google, they have 10 times. That's a huge numbers. Okay, so that's how the AWS history have, and right now as well, I'm damn sure that most of the people when they think about the cloud computing, the first thing will be coming in their mind would be AWS. Okay, because AWS have started, the other companies are just following it. Okay, so this is something history about AWS. Okay, now you can see here some history about AWS. So Amazon itself have started, name is called Amazon Web Services. Okay, now they are saying that the AWS is located in 21 geographical regions. Okay, now I always say there might be correction in these geographical regions. Okay, geographical regions are dynamic. Okay, always make sure you go on AWS website and check their regions for now, because the numbers keep changing, and I would say it's not decreasing, the numbers are increasing actually. So depending on the need, depending on the business, AWS is keep increasing their regions. Initially they were very less, they keep on increasing. Okay, now if I'll the simple answer from where you can get it is here. If you logged into AWS portal, if you logged into the AWS portal, you will see that these are the regions actually from here. If you click on this one, wherever you are if US East one, that's North Virginia, Ohio, California, and Oregon. Okay, so these are the four regions we have. And if you're not aware about regions, don't be worried about it, right? I'll be briefing those things as well. So in a simple term, layman term, for now you can understand region is nothing but it's an area. Okay, so in one country, United States, uh, they have bifurcated, they have the change, they have given four different locations actually from where you can AWS can operate. There are a lot of other features as well. If you talk about regions, we'll talk about all those details, don't worry about it. For now, if you see how many numbers, right? So last time when I have updated this document, at that point of time we have 21 regions. Okay, what about now? What is the current numbers? Okay, now if I'll count 1 2 3 4 5 6 8 7 13. You see, one got increased. Okay, so the document that I have, it's not correct. Okay, so I'm not sure which region got increased, But right now, if you calculate, there is a 12 regions section, 22 regions. Sorry, I'll just calculate it again. Hopefully, I'm not wrong. Yes, 22 regions are there. Okay, so that's what I'm saying, that these regions keep on changing. Now, why I'm saying it's a keep on changing, I know that there are few updates are going on. Okay, right now they are showing in India, particularly for APAC region in India. I know that they are showing just one region here, but there is one more region is about to start. The building, the data center, etc. is all ready. They are about to start. Okay, so once they will start, this region will go beyond, right? One more region will get started. That's how that's how they are keep increasing, depending on the needs, depending on the business, how much business and how much needs they have. Depending that base, they are keep on increasing these regions. And regions is not fixed. Actually, there is a possibility that they can shut down the regions as well if the business is not there. Okay, but generally I've not seen in the past that the numbers are decreasing. Numbers will increase only. Okay, so I'll update this as a 22. So if you're going for examination, always make sure that you see the number from, not from the document. These numbers are dynamic, so don't just blindly believe on the documentation. The numbers could have been changed. Okay, so okay, each region have multiple availability zones, which are distinct data centers providing AWS services. Availability zones are isolated from each other to prevent outage from spreading between the zones. However, okay, now availability zones, right? There is a two concept of regions and availability zone. I'll not discuss right away. There is a chapter of infrastructure there I'll be discussing, but just remember there is two concept: availability zones and regions. Region is the main area. Within regions, there are different availability zones. Availability zones are nothing but the data centers. I'll talk about it. Don't worry about it. Okay. Now, what AWS is paying, right? That's an important question. Why we should go again? These are the the basic property. These are the basic property which any cloud provider is offering. I think, remember yesterday, I think I have already discussed with you, pay as you go, right? Pricing with no upfront expenses. That's the main benefit. That's the main benefit that AWS is providing. Okay. Uh, you just have to uh, pay. You just have to pay what you have used. Okay, and you don't have to pay anything advance. Like they are not like something that you just have to pay for everything. Okay, even though your utilization, if your utilization is going to be 1,000 computers, they will not ask you to pay for 1,000 computers. Okay, you can just pay for one. You can just pay for one, and that's it. Okay, they are not going to, they're not going to ask you anything. Okay, you can just start paying with one, and as for increasing number of increasing, once you'll keep increasing, you just keep paying. Simple. Okay, elasticity and the flexible capacity, scaling up, scaling down, that I've already talked to you yesterday. Speed, agility, apps, not ops. Okay, application they are providing, basically the meaning of it. Global reach, open and flexible. These are just conceptual things are there. Just go through, I would say. Security is there. Now, how security is being established, don't be worried about it. I'll talk about later. Okay, now one more thing here. So this is the universe. This is the universe. Now remember, yesterday we talked about, right? So there are few platform services, infrastructure as a service. I talked to you, right? All those things. Okay, there are few different features are available. So there is a management interface. Okay, there is a management interface. Using that management interface, you can connect your different type of services. Okay, platform as service we discussed yesterday, right? Where and remember that example, purchasing a open house, purchasing a empty house, right? And then infrastructure as service, where you can build your entire infrastructure, build your entire house, right? And then third one is the cross service cross service feature. So cross service feature is you know uh, cross service feature is nothing but something like, let's suppose there is a monitoring agent is there, monitoring service is there inside your AWS. Okay, and that monitoring service is keep interacting with the multiple different services. Okay, these kind of services called as a cross service feature. So don't be worried about it if you're not clear right away. Okay, I'll brief you in detail. So down the line, we are going to talk about what services are there. Okay, and how they are being utilized. Okay, what services are there, how they are being utilized, in what condition you'll be using, right? So those things I'll brief you. Okay, so cross service features, infrastructure, you can see the cross service, right? Cross service can connect with anyone. Cross service can connect with the platform, plus it can connect to the uh, infrastructure service. At the same time, infrastructure can connect with the cross features as well. So all are connected basically. What I'm trying to say. Okay, all are connected. And from management interface, you can connect everything. Okay, now when I'm saying a management interface, always remember I'm talking about this console. Okay, this console I'm talking about. Okay, this console I'm talking about, this console called management console. Okay, management console means from, if you sit on this management console, basically if you sit on this management console, basically you can connect all your services from this management console actually. Okay, one service can be connected from multiple sorry, all the services can be connected from uh, one portal, from this one portal actually. Okay, now how you can connect, there are multiple different ways are there connecting AWS. So CLI is one of the option. Console that we have seen, right, which is the management console itself. CLI as well, you can trigger from the from here. Okay, and there are tools as well. There is a SDK tools are there, that anyway that it's not our cup of tea. That's something that the developers are using, but just be aware that there is a possibilities are also there. Okay, now this is very important. This page, when I'm saying uh okay, so when you're going for examination, right, when you're going for examination, one thing is very important for you, that sometime they will ask you any particular service name they will take, and they will ask you whether it's belong to infrastructure service, whether it's belong to platform, whether it's belong to the software itself, right? Yesterday we talked about. Okay, now if we are talking about these services, if you're talking about these services, so these services, uh, okay, so how they qualify actually, why we are saying it's an infrastructure service, why we are saying that's a platform, and why we are saying it's a software, right? Three different categorizations are there. Okay, and even though there is a cross service services are also there, right? cross service applications are also there. Okay, now we'll try to explore. Now we'll try to explore here why we are saying these different changes, right? Why it's a EC2, why it's a S3, why it's a sorry, why it's a infrastructure, why Okay, so let's note it down. Okay, so you just make sure that you should be always remember what service belongs to which service. What AWS service basically belongs to which particular application, like whether it's belong to infrastructure, whether, and remember, whenever I'm saying, just hold on. Okay, so now remember, there is I told you, right? IaaS. Okay. Then second one is PaaS. Third one is SaaS. Yeah. Now, what services are belongs to these particular applications, right? This is something is very important that you should be aware. Okay, and otherwise, okay, and we will try to deal with them why they belongs to. Okay, so maybe you will not get the answer of why, okay, but at least you will get the answer of what services are there. That I'll try to brief you here. Why they're called as infrastructure service, that's a detailed answer. Okay, so that we something we'll try to explore uh once we jump there, once we go there, and we'll see. Okay, once we go there, because I told you, right? So we are going to talk about the EC2, okay, VPC, S3, and EBS services as well right away, but we will be discussing in depth as well coming down the line. Okay, so let's note it down. So it's called EC2, VPC, S3, and EBS. Okay, these services are coming in the infrastructure as service. Why? Right now, I'm saying infrastructure as service. Okay, when I'm saying infrastructure as service, it means I'm building entirely, right? I'm building from base to top. I'm building, if entire thing is our control, then we'll call as a IAS. Okay, so let's jump here. Very first one, right? EC2. Okay, what exactly EC2? Again, I'll be discussing in depth this one. The basic idea I'm giving you, EC2 is nothing but it's a virtual machine. Okay, it's a virtual machine that we are using for the server hosting actually in AWS. That you can use EC2 as a server hosting. Okay, so there can be a different application can be run, different application can be running, and they can need a different uh, operating systems as well. Okay, for those purpose we are using EC2. Remember, we just have to pay. There is on demand concept. On demand means where we just go create it and we can utilize it. Okay, and uh, we can utilize it, right? And yeah, and pay as you go. Simple. That concept is also there. Okay, whatever system whatever you'll be creating, you will be just paying for what you are using basically. Okay, so there are a lot of other concepts as well. I'll not go through in detail. Okay, like what type of instances are there. I'll just thoroughly brief you.
So Rahul, a quick question, right?
Yep.
In the exam, they will ask a question about if the service is which category it is in. Is there
No, they will not ask you type actually, but that question I have seen that mostly they will land you in a situation where you have to choose. Let's suppose EC2 they have given, right? So they will land you in a situation where you have to choose whether it's belong to IAS, whether it's belong to PAS, and whether it's belong to SAS.
Okay.
Okay. these kind of questions are coming. Like now, when you go for EC2 type, right? There are a lot of, almost 50 different types are there. You don't have to
Right.
worry about it. You cannot, nobody can actually remember it, right? You
Right.
don't have to worry. Now,
Okay.
I'll just quickly show you the anyway EC2, because yesterday we have done our setup, right? So if we have done our setup properly, okay, the yesterday setup that we have done it. Now, if I create a EC2 machine, I should be able to connect it from outside. So that we are going to test it. Okay. So I'll just create one EC2 Linux. I'll try to connect it, and I'll try to connect one Windows as well. So I'll just see whether I'm able to connect both actually. Okay. So I think if you guys are comfortable creating instances and etc., fine, because I have to record it actually. So I'll just create this EC2 machine. Okay. So Sunil, feel free, if you are confident enough, you can skip it, or if you want to follow me, follow me. That's
Yeah, no, I still have a bunch of them, so you can, yeah.
okay. So what I'm going to do it very simple way, a Linux instance I'm going to start, because I need to test my and idle for you as well. If you're confident enough, don't be worried about it. Otherwise, at least we have to make sure that we are creating EC2 instance in our infrastructure, the infrastructure that yesterday we created, the VPC, subnet and all,
Yeah.
and make sure it is connected.
Yeah, sure.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm going to create one EC2 instance. So I'll be launching it. Okay, so what you need. Okay, just give name, doesn't matter anything. Okay, what you're going to have it. So this is the AWS, Amazon Linux is there. Okay, that's fine. Good. We can pick that one. That's a free tier eligible as well. Similar thing that we are looking for, right? T2 micro, that's also free tier eligible. Key pair you have to choose. So this is the key pair that I have created, right? I need to choose that one. Security group. Now, few things got changed. If these things have recently got changed actually. Now, if I have to create a security group, because the first time I'm going, so ideally I should create one security group actually. So I'll just give the same security group name as a AWS 10. Okay, so that every time I'll be able to remember it. Okay, so I'll say create security group. Okay. Network section is very much important because VPC, we have to edit it actually. Okay, so we have to choose our VPC, because by default it will not be selecting your VPC. Okay, so you have to edit it, choose your VPC, subnet. See, so choosing the public subnet, private subnet, right? Private is not going to help. So you need the public one. Auto assign public IP also I need, because without public IP I cannot do the connection. Okay, this is the first security group I'm going to create, so I'll just give it name as a AWS 10. Okay, so similar name I'm going to utilize throughout the class. Okay, that's fine. Keep it default everything. Hard drive is 1 into 8 GB. Root volume is there. I think that's more than enough. Okay, I will say launch instance. Let's see if it is got launched. Okay, from here it's a successful view instance. If it is all good, I should be able to connect. If I'm not able to connect, and if you are also not able to connect, then it means the yesterday setup that you have done, somewhere there is a fault that we have to find it out. So let's wait. Okay, it's running. So you have to wait until the status checks are green actually. These days it used to take some more time actually. Initially, 2 3 years back when I've seen it was very quick actually. Now it's almost took 1 minute. Generally, it will take 1 minute. Anyway, we'll start trying connecting it. I think it's initialization is done. Not done actually. It's in a initializing phase. So ideally you should wait until unless it is green because yeah, now you can see it's green, right? Good. Let's try to connect it. Okay. Now, what is the connection way? I know if you are already aware. Hey, Francis.
Hey guys, sorry, I something happened to me. I couldn't join before. Sorry for that.
That's fine. The recording will be there. So, whatever the missed thing, you can easily cover in the recording, Francis.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And guys, just make sure the recording videos, recording emailer will be shared by the institution to you separately. Okay. Make sure to download it and keep it somewhere because sometime I heard some of the people have reported me that some of the older recording they are not able to download actually. So sometime what happened, Zoom will delete from the from the download center from the cloud. Okay, so it's a better that whenever you get, okay, make sure the this day wise download and keep it. So the video will be there for you in your laptop and systems. You can just refer whenever you stuck somewhere, go back on that recording, see what happened at that particular time, how I did, right? It will be easy for you. So just make sure if you're not getting email for recording, let me know. I'll ask these guys from the institute. And if you're getting, make sure to download. Yeah. Okay, now next one is I need to connect it, right? So for connection purpose, actually, I need a public IP plus I need key. That's very important, right? Now remember when I was creating this instance, I have chosen a key, right? It was asking me what key you need, right? So I've chosen this AWS 10 and if you remember correctly, yesterday we have created this key as a prerequisite. I told you, right? These are the prerequisite things are needed, which is need to create any of the instance. Okay. So now let's try using this key pair and this public key. These two things only needed to connect your machine. Okay. Now I'll show you how you can connect. There is a two-way to connect. One is, if you have if you have terminal in Apple laptop, fine, you can connect from there. Otherwise, if you have to connect it from Windows, I'll just show you. Where is my putty? Yesterday, I think I have downloaded. Yep, here it is. So I'll just keep in my folder actually. So it will be easy for me always. Okay, so let's try to connect it. Okay, so here now I said what I need. I need two things, right? That key I need, and I need IP address. So IP address, I can get it from here. This is the public IP always. There is two IP, private IP address and public IP address. There is two different uses are there. So I'll just use public IP for now. I'll tell you where you can use the private IP. So make sure to connect with your public IP. This is the public IP. Yeah. And key I need, right? So remember yesterday I have created that key and downloaded as well. So I'll just go here. So where you have to go in SSH, go in auth. That's here. And there is a browse section. You have to just give a path where you have given your key. So I kept that key in my same folder. Remember, this is the same key which I have created yesterday. Let's say, okay, I'll say accept. Okay, it will ask me what is the user need I need. So user is by default EC2-user. Okay, if you want, I'll just type it here. Default user for Linux login. I think might be if you're already using, most of the people are already aware, but yeah, that's fine. As I said, this class is for everyone. Here you go. Okay. If you got this screen, it means the setup that you did yesterday, the entire VPC we have created, subnet we have created, and internet gateway we have created. It means those setup was good actually. Okay. If we are not able to connect this way, it means there is some problem with that setup. You need to sort it out. Yeah. Any question here?
No.
Okay. Same way, I will create a Windows machine as well. I'll just show you. Or if you are already aware, what about, okay, I think Bernie also got joined. So if you're already aware about, hey, Bernie.
Hey, how you doing? Sorry, I'm really late.
That's fine. I was just referring the same thing to Francis as well. Recording will be available, Bernie. So whatever things got missed out, don't be worried about it. You'll be getting that entirely. Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you. I download it every night anyway because it's good to watch it again later.
Yep. Thank you. Okay. So if you guys are confident enough for the Windows, I'll not create. And what about the Windows? Anyone have created? You know how to create the Windows instance and connect it? Linux is straightforward. I know that most of the people are already doing it. What about Windows? Anybody tried? No? Okay, I'll just show you. Okay, so let's try to connect a Windows machine as well. So I'll give some name as a Windows. Okay, Microsoft Windows I'll pick. This is the 2019 base server, that's fine. Keep it default, I don't need to change. FreeTire T2 Micro is fine. This is the similar one. Okay, now one more thing in Windows is needed, that for Linux actually, we need a PPK that we have generated actually. For Windows, we need a PIM file. Okay, so here I need to create. So either you can do one thing, either go and create a key pair there, either you can say the create key pair here. I can create here as well. Okay, so I'll just say Windows key pair and just create. That's fine. That got downloaded. Yeah, let it be there. Okay, so instance is T2 micro. Key pair is new key pair that I've just created. Now remember, again, you have to choose your networking section is very much important, because if you choose the wrong networks, you will not be able to connect it. Yeah. So make sure you are in the correct network. So do it, edit. make sure you are choosing your VPC. If you have multiple VPC, you have to be very careful what network you're choosing. Okay. And make sure you are in the public domain as well, public subnet. Make it enable. Okay. Okay. So first time, that's fine. Say Windows, give the name as a Windows. First time, because first time you have to create it, the security group. Next time when you go, you don't have to create the security group. The similar security group can be utilized actually multiple times. Okay. So I'm saying Windows, I'm just giving the name as a Windows. Security group, RDP, they have given this permission. I think that's more than enough for now. Okay. And 30 GB is the minimum space that needed for the root disk actually by default. So we are not going to change it. 30 GB is the free tier. I can get that 30 GB. And I'll say launch instance. Okay, saying successful. Let's give another 1 minute or so to get it completed. Then we'll try to connect it. Okay. Still going on. Yeah, let it complete. Status check. Okay, so Windows is taking more time. I think I should be able to connect it, but ideally I should wait until it is, because sometime it get failed. Okay, so if status 6 will fail, it means there is some problem with the instance startup. Yeah, and you might face issues later point of time. So always you should always watch this space and make sure it is green. Yeah, that's green now. Now we'll try to connect it. Okay, so how we can connect it? Let's click on this connect button. It will tell you how you can connect it. Okay, so I will go in RDP client. Yeah, okay, and this is the public IP they have just picked up. Now we need a password, right? Username is the administrator, but we need a password. We don't have the password, right? How we can get the password? Okay, so if you click here, get password, it will ask me that where is your key? If you give me your key, I'll decrypt the password and that a similar password that you can use. Okay, so I am going to giving the path. This is the path actually windows.pem that I've just created, right? And I'll decrypt the password. Here you go. I have my password. And don't try to copy this one because this is not going to work for you. Okay. Yours one should be different. Okay, so username, but username will be always administrator. Okay, let's try. So I will say download remote desktop file. I'll download it. And if you click this one, ideally it should go to the, yep, it is trying to connect. Let's see. Okay, so it's asking for the password, sorry. Administrator, they have picked up by default and they're asking for the password. Here you go. Yeah. So this is the way, actually, this is the way you can get your system. Okay, so here you can see I logged in. Okay, host name. Yeah, so now you can see I've logged in the Windows system. Okay, so this is the Windows system. So in this way, actually, this is the beauty, right? This is the beauty of cloud. You can see, right? Same account I have logged in here, and I can create a number of EC2 based on the different operating system. It can be, a Linux, it can be any Linux flavor, it can be Ubuntu, SUSE Linux, or even the Apple, those devices, Mac OS also we can launch, and then Linux, then Windows flavors as well we can go, right? Same place, I need whatever is my need, I can go ahead and create it. Okay, so this is the beauty from here. Okay, that's the reason we are. Only thing is how you can create those instances. There is a bit differences there that you need to identify. Okay, what you have to do it, how you can create it. Okay, these things you just have to identify. That's it. If you're able to identify, that's it. Okay, so this is the way your both machines are there. Here is the Linux, here is the Windows machines. Yeah, both machines are connected. I'm damn sure if I shall be able to connect the internet as well. Here you go. Yeah. So Google is also connected. All is, it's all connected. That's very nice actually. Okay, so this is the way you can create a multiple instances. There is many operating systems are available. Whatever operating system you want to create, just sometime it happened that for particular reason you need a different operating system, right? Ubuntu, Microsoft, Red Hat, SUSE, whatever you need, Mac OS if you need. Sometime you want to give a try any application that need to be done on the Mac. That's fine. Those things also you can get it from here. Okay. Any questions from here? Okay, I'll take it now. Okay, so default user for Windows login. Yeah, it's administrator. One thing you have to remember, if default key format for Linux is .ppk. Remember, I created yesterday, right? So there was a ppk format that I have downloaded, but when I go for Windows, the default format will be PEM actually. Okay, I'll just show you. .pem. Okay, why I'm saying PPK and PEM? If you go here, if you try creating a key, it will ask you what format you need. Yeah, if I'll go for creation, okay, you see here PEM and PPK it's asking, right? So PPK means for using putty. If I'm using putty session only for putty, means Linux machine we have to connect it via putty, right? Then I need a PPK format. But if I need OpenSSH or Windows machines for these format, we need a PEM file. Remember, if somebody is using Mac, for them as well, .pem is needed. Okay. Okay, if you just want, this is Windows / macOS. Okay, if somebody had the macOS, for them as well, PAM is needed. Okay, clear guys? Any questions? Then I'll move on. Okay, one important concept that I would like to discuss is EC2 payment method. Remember the document that I am covering for now, I think I've already briefed you, I'm again briefing you. The document that I'm covering is, it's from day one itself. Okay, AWS introduction. Right now, I have not completed the day one. So once this documentation is done, then I'll be done for the day one and then I'll jump on to the day two. Yeah. So here, if you see EC2 payment methods, EC2, there are three different things are there that I would like to discuss is on-demand instances, on-demand instances. Okay, there is three different way how you can pay. I told you, right? EC2, even though if you need 1000 instances, you don't have to pay for that entirely. Actually, you can just start with 1, 2. So there are different payment methods that AWS have structured. Okay, now you can identify which one is best suitable for your environment, right? That's how that's how it's the entire environment is built up. Okay, so the first one is on-demand instances. Next is reserve. Third one is the spot instances. Okay, what difference is? On-demand is something that you are trying, right? Simply, I'm going to AWS asking, yeah, all good. So then they will provide you immediately on whenever you need. That's called on-demand. Reserve instances, when I'm going and reserving some instance, I'm saying, okay, I need some numbers reserved for me. So that will be a bit cheaper cost. Spot instances is a bit different. That's unused instance, which, AWS will allow you to bid actually. So don't worry about it. There is a chapter as well talking about on these things. I'll show you as well what I'm exactly talking about. So these are important actually for your examination. If you go for examination purpose, these are important. Okay, next one is EBS. Again, EBS, as I said, I'm just giving you brief idea what EBS is. I'll not go through in depth. Okay, EBS is nothing but elastic block storage. Okay, so when I'm saying elastic block storage, okay, keep it two different tab here. Elastic is a separate, block storage is a separate. Okay, so when I'm saying a block storage means nothing but a kind of hard drive, right? You might have seen the hard drive that we are placing in personal computers and laptops. They're called as a hard drive. They're called as a hard drive, or they are as a block device. Block device means something that you cannot directly use it actually. Right? Block device is something that you need to format it. You need to format it, then only you can use it. Like hard drive as well. If I'm talking about, there is a two type of hard drives are available, right? One is, the internal, hard drives. One is the external hard drives. So external is a bit different. External, I'll talk about. There is another type of storage that we are going to talk about. There we can correlate, right? But this one, the first one which I'm talking about is uh, block device. It's something is internal hard drive. If you're, I think, in your entire career, you might be gone through some situation where you might, ending up where your PC hard drive will get bad or your laptop hard drive will get bad. Okay. If you have get chance to replace it some other time, you might be aware that if you're taking any internal hard drives, you have to format it with the operating system actually. Okay, so that's a block device. If you don't format it with the operating system, you cannot use it. Same way, these are the block device, internal block device are there that we are installing. Okay, so that's the internal block device. Now, why it's elastic? Remember, elastic word I brief you, right? Elastic means something that can be stretched. Okay, whenever there is a need, I can stretch it. That's how it is. That's how I'm calling it as a elastic. So whenever I'm creating EC2 machine, I can stretch it to the certain limit. Okay, so if I'll show you where exactly it's coming. So if I'll go for launching an EC2 instance, there is a section for EBS section. If you come down, there is a storage section, right? Here I'm giving it's 8 GB of GP2. There is a different type of disk are available that I have given you documentation. Just go through it. So there is a different type of disks are available, but this I can increase any number. There is a certain limitations are there, but I can just increase it. Okay, so if I want to increase it, just increase this number. Okay, and even though if I want to go for multiple disks, right? Let's suppose I want to go this one 80 GB, another one I want to go for 75 GB, right? 3-4 volumes I need. Yeah, more than enough. I'm more than happy. I can create it. Okay, I'll show you as well how you can correlate whether it got connected, whether it's not got connected. Now, if you go on the machines, right? How I'll verify. So by default, in Linux, these are the important questions actually. So if you go for Windows, right? So default storage is 30 GB. Okay, and if you go for Linux, default storage is 8 GB. Okay, that's all. But again, this is a very much elastic. Any point of time, if you want to increase, you can increase. You can increase the numbers, whatever you need. That's more than enough you can do. Okay, if you run the command df-h, you'll be able to see the disk. This is the 8 GB disk, right? This one I'm talking about. Okay, so inside this disk 8 GB, there is a different parameter, different partitions are there. Okay, you can see this 8 GB disk is there. Under the 8 GB disk, all things are available. Same way, if I go in Windows, here you go, right? 29.9 GB, almost 30 GB, right? So this is the data which is available. So this is the way. If I want to create another disk, I want to attach it. I know that this kind of questions must be in your mind. Uh, you know whether I can create another disk, whether I can attach it, all those things we can do. But I don't want to try it right away. There is a different separate topic, separate discussion that we are going to do it on that. Then we'll talk about. Okay, next type of storage is S3. Okay, so before we discuss, I think it's almost 1 hour. Let's have a break for 9-10 minute, come back, and then we'll start. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Sorry, ask something, anyone?
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Back in 10
Okay.
minutes.
Thank
Sounds
you.
fine. Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm back.
Hi, Rahul.
Okay, so
I'm here.
thank you. Thanks, Francis. Let's start then. Okay. So one type of storage I have discussed, right? That's EBS, right? EBS I have talked about. Now the another type of storage, if I talk about, okay, these things, the above which, I have discussed all these things. These are your virtual machine section. Virtual systems are machines, whatever you can say. Okay. Now, if I'll talk about in storage, now again, remember all these things are part of your IS service itself. Okay. In storage, if I talk about these two services are there, storage section, EBS we talk about, another one is the S3. Now, for EBS, I told you it's a elastic block storage. It's kind of internal hard drive. Okay, the way internal hard drive works, you have to format it, you have to write in the same way. This one is also. Now, this one works as an external hard drive. Why I'm saying it? You know that the how external hard drives are working. External or portable hard drives. Okay, means something that you just plug and play. It's not exactly that one. Remember, I'm just trying to build your thought process around understanding, so that whenever the name is coming in your mind, you should not confuse. Okay, so basically EBS and EBS and S3. So when I'm talking about S3 is a external or portable hard drive, kind of, right? Why I'm saying it? Remember, whenever there is an external disk there, you can just plug in your system and you can start using it, right? You don't have to format it. You don't have to do any setup or something. Just plug and play, right? Same way S3 works. So S3 is also a storage that can be that also can be elastic, okay, that can be stretched any number, okay, and portable as well. I don't have to do any extra work. There is a just concept of the bucket creation inside S3. That's it. You have to do it. Some security additional features, or blah blah blah, lot of things are there. Those things can be discussed, okay. But this is the way, actually this is the two type of storage are available. Again, there is a chapter for the detailed discussion. I'll do the same thing, but right now just be aware this one. Okay, bucket, what concept is bucket, how we are doing it, those things I'll be discussing. Okay, next one is VPC. That's the same service, that's called virtual private cloud actually. Okay, so whenever you're creating a machine, right? Whenever you're creating a, okay, so I'll just give you a thorough idea of VPC. Something happening with this snipping tool. Okay, so when I'm saying a VPC, so VPC means outer range actually. Okay, so very much outer. When you're creating your VPC, when you're creating your VPC, so the most external layer is called a VPC, virtual private cloud. Now remember, yesterday we discussed there are two different type of clouds are there, private and public cloud is there, right? So public cloud is something which is available on the internet, right? Private cloud, something which is not available in the internet. right? Now, why I'm saying it's a public cloud, or why I'm saying it's a private cloud or VPC. So VPC is a virtual private cloud. Okay, a virtual private cloud inside your public cloud. Hope I'm clear, right? So now why I need it? Think about it. Okay, let's suppose I have account in AWS. That's a public account, right? Let's suppose company A and company B, both are competitors. Okay, both are creating their accounts on AWS and creating their resources and etc. Right now, they have a fees. They are competitors, right? They want to access their each other data. They wants to know what the other company is doing. Okay, if both are going on the AWS, which is the public cloud, which is publicly available, data is publicly available, anybody can access it, right? So there is a big threat for the data. That should not be a good idea, right? So that's why whatever the resources are being created inside your public cloud, that's majorly being created inside a virtually created private cloud. Actually, it's nothing but it's a network segment that we are segregating. We are saying, okay, this is my a network segment that I'm going to create it, and nobody can enter it. Nobody can enter in that network. Actually, that's a completely separate zone. Neither somebody can come inside, neither somebody can go outside until and unless I give a permission, right? So this is how it works actually. So that's basically a security feature, okay, that AWS and other cloud providers also have been given, that the within a public cloud there is a private zone that the nobody can go inside, neither your machines which you have created inside your private cloud, neither that connection go outside until unless you give the solution, right? Those things we'll get discuss about it, how we are giving access and everything, right? So VPC is nothing but it's outer boundary actually, outer boundary for any uh, like I'll try to. Okay, now let's suppose I'm saying okay. So inside, let's suppose inside that's the AWS section. Okay, so I'm saying okay, this is the AWS. That's outside is AWS. That's a may AWS. Maybe I think I can get it from here directly. VPC, I can get it. No need to. This is how the simple VPC looks like. Okay, and inside VPC, if I want to create some other things, like let's suppose I want to create EC2 inside. Okay, so this is the way actually how it works. Okay, VPC is outer boundary. VPC is outer boundary. Inside VPC, all your EC2 machines will be get created. Now what happened? Let's suppose I have Okay, same way I was saying, we can have another setup actually. Okay, we can have another setup where we can have some more machines. Okay, here, let's suppose one machine I have here. Okay, so basically VPC to VPC, there will not be a connectivity will not be established until unless you give some solution. I'll talk about on those solutions as well, what solution can be implemented. Okay, but by default, if let's suppose this is a company A VPC, okay, and this one is a company B VPC, okay, so until unless you do some changes, until unless you do some changes, it cannot be, let's suppose VPC A, okay, and this one is, I'm saying for this one is for the VPC B. Okay, so both are separate. You cannot connect, even though if they are either in the same account, either in the different account. The VPC is a virtual private cloud. Always remember, it's a private cloud. Okay, and they cannot be changed actually. Okay, one more thing, what exactly this VPC? VPC is nothing but it's IP range actually. Okay, so basically you say, okay, I'll give some range 172.16.0.0 slash 16. Okay, so I've just given some range. Okay, so basically I'm saying that if I'm creating any VPC, if I'm creating any VPC inside inside my inside this range, inside this my VPC, any instance inside this VPC, they will be always getting this IP actually. Okay, this is the concept. Okay, so this, if let's suppose my first machine is there, it will be getting something like, let's suppose 172.16.1 dot something, anything can be get let's suppose 98 something. This kind of IP will be allocated. Okay, depending on subnet, there is a concept of subnet as well that I'll talk about. Okay, any question on the VPC? I think it should be clear, right? Good, you don't have any question? Okay, so VPC is done. Next one is, I'm going to talk about few things. I'll quickly talk about a platform services, right? So now the second service, which I said that the platform is being managed by AWS. Okay, so means house is already built. Okay, house is already built. Inside house, whatever the work needs to be done, that will be done by we. Okay, so there are a few services are there. I'll just go through very quickly because this is not part of this a detailed discussion. Okay, so there is a elastic map reduce, EMR, that's called EMR actually. So EMR is basically used for, so there is a, if I'll talk about platform service, right? So here I have EMR, RDS, DynamoDB, and Elastic. Sorry. EMR, DynamoDB, RDS, and what else was there? Elastic Beanstalk. Yeah. Okay. Now, the first one we talk about. Okay, so this is the service, right? Now I'll just give you a very quick overview. EMR is being used for Hadoop cluster. Okay, Hadoop is not part of our solution for now. Okay, but just be aware, EMR is being used for the Hadoop cluster. If you want to go through more detail, you can read it. Next one is DynamoDB. So DynamoDB is basically a database. Okay, a database, but why we are using it's a basically NoSQL database. Okay, there is a proper chapter as well. I'll talk about what is that NoSQL, why I'm saying it's a NoSQL databases, right? That's a very famous DynamoDB database is there. Okay, RDS is nothing but it's also a database. Okay, but SQL databases. It is being used for SQL database. Okay, SQL databases means Oracle. Okay, and what else? Aurora is there. These are some databases are all available there that we'll talk about. Last one is Elastic Beanstalk actually. Okay, what exactly Elastic Beanstalk? So I will just brief you here. Okay, there is a lot of documentation, guys. Please go through it. I'm not going through entirely. Okay, Elastic Beanstalk is being used for the deployment of the service. Actually, if somebody wants to deploy their services, they can use Elastic Beanstalk. Okay, and again, if you want to access any of these services, whatever I'm taking name from here, okay, any of these services, if you want to deploy, or you can come here. So most of the services I'm going to talk about again. EMR is not part of our discussion, our syllabus, so we'll not talk about in detail. DynamoDB, I'll brief you. RDS, I'm going to brief you in very detail. Elastic Beanstalk, if you want to search from here, again, anything, any service you want to search, you can search from here. Elastic Beanstalk, actually. Here you can see. Again, if you want to make a shortcut, you're good to go. Just click on that star. Okay, from here, I can just create some application and I can start using it. Okay. Okay, that's done. Okay, last one is cross service feature. Okay, cross service feature is also there. What exactly the cross service feature? There is a two different cross service features. Cross service means it can connect with the multiple different services actually. Okay, cross services, especially AWS feature applications are available. They can connect with the multiple applications, multiple internal applications. Okay, so when I'm saying across region applications, so cross region applications means it can be it can be Amazon CloudWatch and SWF. So Amazon CloudWatch is very famous service. It is being used for the AWS famous service. Actually, it is being used for management. It is being used for the monitoring management actually. So you can create AWS and its CloudWatch is everywhere actually. So we'll explore CloudWatch as well in bit deep detail wherever. SWF is not part of our service, but SWF, just be aware, it's a simple workflow service actually. So let's suppose I want to create multiple teams, right? Let's suppose multiple applications are there. Okay, one application is connected with another one wants to connect with another one, right? All these things, if I wants to do it, okay, like let's say I will say let's suppose I want to create some kind of flow. Okay, so I will say, okay, I will say this application, if this application is successful, then go there. Okay, and if this one is successful, do that, right? All these things, if I want to do it, then I can utilize these kind of services can be utilized actually. Okay, so if this one is successful, what to do, right? And if this one is not successful, these kind of flow, if I want to create some kind of flow for these purposes, actually, I can utilize SWF actually. Okay, so SWF is also available from here. Okay, simple workflow service. So I multiple application I can attach. So now I hope by name itself you are aware why I'm saying it's SWF. It's just why it's a cross application, because there is a multiple application, cross service features, right? Multiple applications are interacting with. Same way with the CloudWatch, same way with the SWF. Okay. Free tier, yesterday I've already told you that the AWS will give you some sort of free tier. Okay, that things you should be always aware. In the billing sections, you can explore always. Always make sure whenever you logged in the morning, I told you yesterday, right? The very first thing that you should always do, come here in your billing section, check your what is the usage. Okay, if there is any bills are coming, that you should be aware. Okay, and free tier as well you can choose. Okay, what is, like you can see here, right? Few things I have already used 100%. So basically it's a saying that okay, you have already utilized, it means if I'm going to utilize more than this, I'll be charged. Okay, rest of all those things you can see here, it's just few percent have been utilized, so I'm good enough. Okay. So just be aware these things, how how these things works actually. So this is all about from the AWS introduction. That's a basic one. Okay, that's and it was available from the day one actually. Remember, so here, if you see here, all the documentation got covered. Introduction to cloud computing that yesterday I've covered, and AWS introduction that I've just covered. Okay, and lab was nothing there. So prerequisite yesterday I've covered, and this environment setup also. This is very important document, guys. Be aware, make sure you do it. Okay, so make sure your setup is done. If you are aware about how to do that environment setup, then you'll be good to troubleshooting as well. If something got failed, something uh, something my machine is not able, I'm not able to connect, you can easily go through and identify and see what going on. Okay. Okay, so I'll jump on the day 2 now officially. So there is 2-3 things that we are going to cover actually. So there are 3 parts actually. One, I'll give you idea of DevOps, how the DevOps looks like. Okay, before that I'll cover a small piece of Linux. I'll not cover too much, frankly speaking. Okay, because Linux is very vast actually. Linux is not something that I can cover in half an hour, 1 hour. Okay, you should be people are learning Linux for months and years, then they will get to know entirely. Okay, but I'll just give you brief idea, because most of our labs which are coming in the DevOps based on the Linux section. So if you are already aware and you are working in Linux, you'll feel that the it's very basic thing I'm telling you. But be because it's a part of class, so I have to cover it. Okay, and yeah, the similar thing, because for me, I'm working in almost 15-16 years now Linux, right? So from very much beginning of my experience, I've started make my hand dirty on the Linux itself. So Linux is very a familiar operating system for me. Okay, so before we start day 2, any question from day 1, anything apart from that, it's not related, then also you can ask. I'll give you opportunity. Okay, so complete silence. I'll take it no. Okay, so let's jump on day 2. Okay, so as I said, on day 2, what we are going to cover. Okay, for software as service, we have not covered now. Software service, actually directly there is nothing is going to be covered, but Gmail is one of the example. Gmail could be one of the example in software as service, and then Google Word, Google Excel. These are also example actually. Okay. Now, when I'm saying I'm jumping on the day 2 actually. Okay. So in day 2, what we are going to cover. So as I said, there are 3 different things that I'm going to cover. Introduction to DevOps. That's first thing. Okay. No, sorry, the basic of Linux that I'm going to cover. Okay. And basically there is nothing called a documentation. I'll directly show you actually. Few commands are there, nothing else. Okay, how you can run, how you can create your machine, what you can do, all those things. I'll just try to cover a few things, okay, so that you'll be aware. So the basics of Linux, that's one thing from day 2. Then another one is intro to DevOps. That's a second. And third one is security in AWS. Security in AWS. Okay, this is the 3 different things we are going to cover. Okay, so the very first thing is for basics of Linux actually. Okay, so I'll not go through by the documentation one by one. You can you can read about it. Linux, there is a huge documentations are available. If you really want, if anyone particularly, if you want to, read about the, so Red Hat is the, a company majorly who is, supplying. I'll give you the guide actually. That's a big guide. Red Hat. The one that I used to refer actually. So I'll just share with you. Seven or eight, anything if you read about it, I think that's good enough. That's the same one, I believe. Yep. Okay, so okay, so this is the guide that you can refer if you really want to go through in detail. Initially, when when I was learning, I've just gone through. I know that's a huge lot of documentation is there, but as I said, Linux is very big, very vast. Okay, so you can keep learning if you really want. So this system administrator guides are very good. These are available for the all the different flavors actually. Red Hat 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so you can go through the any one guide is fine. There are slight differences they are doing in the 7 to 8. That's fine. anyone, if you cover, that's more than enough, I believe. So you'll get lot of ideas. Okay, now let's cover a few things from our side actually. So in lab, if I'll go Linux fundamentals, I'll try to complete few things so that you'll get good idea. Okay, now what exactly in this lab? There is nothing but some commands are there actually. What these commands are doing? Okay, so there is a prerequisite first of all how you can create your EC2 machine. Make sure you have created and connected your machine like this. Okay, I think if you are able to connect, you must be at this place actually. Okay, you must be at this place. You should be able to connect. I'll try to show you few commands, what those commands are doing. Okay, and how you can run that, how you, and believe me, as a DevOps engineer, these like df-h or maybe top, these are very basics command, but believe me, I think you might be also agree with me that when you work on a daily basis, these are the commands that we are going to utilize most of the places. Okay, most of the places we are being asked similar questions, and even in the interview till now, people are asking these Linux commands and Linux basics actually, because everywhere it is being used. Okay, today as well, tomorrow as well, whenever I'm sitting, I'm working something, I'll definitely have to explore it actually same way. There is no these commands itself are there that we have to utilize actually. Okay, okay, now let's run few commands, and I'll just show you. So how you can set up this, you can set up with sudo su hyphen. So if you want to go with the root, because there are multiple commands are there that can be the best works with the root itself. Okay, so let's run it with the root. Okay, so do the very first thing is sudo su hyphen, so that you'll become a root actually. Okay, now you can see here the very basic thing is what is the host name. My host name is there. Okay, so if I run command host name, okay, you can see this kind of host name is there, right? This is the host name that AWS by default is giving, this kind of. So it's a very weird name, right? Now let's suppose I want a simple thing, right? There might be a command actually, but if a simple way, the very first thing that I want to start with, right? If I just want to change the, just hold on, I'll change the setting as well so that you will be able to see it properly. Yeah, I think there should be background as well. We can change it to the white. Is it possible? Should be. Leave it for now. That's fine. Okay, so the very first thing, let's suppose I just want to change my host name, right? So there are for all these things you can get the commands. You can search in Google and Red Hat portal. You'll get the command actually. Okay, and tab is always your help. Okay, if I run the host name, you can see there are two different commands are coming. First host name we have already run, that will print you. The second one is host name CTL, that will change your host name actually. So I'll just run set. Okay, one more thing, if I just run with enter host name CTL help. Okay, this one tell me how I can set my host name. So you can see here This is the way actually how we can set my host name. If you are not aware how the full command need to be used, always use the command --help. Okay, so you can see here it's saying how you can set up your host name. Say hostname CTL, set host name and give your name. Okay, so I'll do the same way. Set host name and give some host name. Let's suppose I'll say AWS -server -1. Yeah, that's it. Now you'll be asking why the host name did get changed. I still see this host name, right? That's fine. But if I run the command host name, my host name got changed. Earlier it was coming like this something, right? That one got changed. Okay, how I want to take the effect. So either I can come out from this, this command prompt and logged in back. Either I just run the command bash simple, so that it will implement it. Now you can see here the host name got changed, right? So these are the simple tricks are there that how you can change, how you can, see all the commands I have given here. You can run, get to know. Okay, few more things I'll just brief. These are the very basic things in interview as well. People are asking, okay, what version you are running, right? So if I run, this is the uname -a, right? So this will tell you what is the server that you are running, what kernel version that you are running with, right? And whether you are running with the 64-bit or 32-bit. So you can easily see here, you can say that, okay, I'm running with the 64-bit, right? And I'm running with the Linux. And what kernel version? This is the kernel version is done. And this is the host name. So if you run the uname -a, it will give you all the information. There are a lot of different things are there. If you just want to take a small pieces, you can run. Again, if you want to take help from here, run uname -help. Okay, a lot of things are there. Now you can see here all you can run. So S, what kernel name is there? V, only this timing will be printed. I, yeah. So uname -a will give you everything. But if you want to just print smaller, I can recall that the earlier point of time when I used to give interview, people used to ask me how to print kernel name, right? How to print the kernel release. These time as well, even 15-16 years of experience, people are still asking. These are very common actually, because in Linux, these things you'll be utilizing somewhere, some point of time for sure. Okay, so that's uname -r. If you run this command, you can get what version of Linux you are running with. Okay, it's not Red Hat, so you can run the command star release. So let's suppose somebody is asking you how to get what is the release version, what is the latest release that you are running with. Okay, so your answer would be Amazon Linux 2. Okay, this command which I have given you, this one is applicable for Red Hat actually. Remember, we have I have started this, it's not Red Hat one, I have started Amazon Linux actually. Okay, that's why this command will not be directly working here, but that's fine. There is a different command you can run with release. Okay, I'll just paste this command here. So you'll be getting it. Okay, so just see current release. Okay, just run this command and you have to focus here. Amazon Linux 2, you can see here. So Amazon Linux 2 is basically, it's a current release. If you're running with Red Hat, then you have to run the same command. cat/cpc/red hat-release. Uptime is the simple command that will tell you what is the uptime, current uptime is there. Okay, if I, okay, so 21, right? It's up from almost 1 hour. 22 p.m. Yep. Okay. UK time it's taking. Yep. So this will tell you from where when you have started your machine and what exactly it is doing. So I've started at that particular time, and my machine is still running. Load average is nothing. Okay. So if some load will be coming, load average will be showing it's increasing. Okay. The same way these commands can be run. Host name if you want to see the IP address, what IP address have been assigned with your host name, you can run host name -i. Last reboot, you can run. Let's suppose somebody is asking how I can get the last reboot. This is the command actually. Okay, last time when your machine got rebooted. Okay, so this is the same time when 21, right? We have just started actually. At that point of time, it just got rebooted. Because that the same time I've started, right? So this is the time it should. Okay, this is showing that the when data got started, but 21 is the time when machine got rebooted. If you reboot machine, reboot system, your system, this one will get changed. There are commands for calculator, calendar. If you want to see the calendar, run cal command. If you want to see who logged in, just run w. If you want to see who am I, what currently user you're utilizing, right? So if you run who am I, it will show you what user currently you're using. Or there are multiple ways actually. You can run ID command as well. So ID will give you what is the current user that you are utilizing actually. So root is the current user. Okay, so this is the a sample things I've just given you. There are a lot of different things can be done, but these are the very basic things that can be done in the Linux section. Okay, then few more things I'll just show you how you'll get to know that what boot messages are there when your system boots, right? What messages are being created. And remember I remember these messages when I was doing a system administrator job way back 5-10 years back actually. These commands are very useful, and believe me, those commands were useful 10 years back, and those commands are useful till now. Okay, right now as well, if I get stuck somewhere, my machine get rebooted, somebody asking me why it got rebooted, can you just check and let me know? Dmessage is very useful message actually. Okay, if you run basically dmessage is nothing but it's a boot message. Whenever your system boots, you see what happened, right? Whether some logs are there, some errors are there, something like that. Those things, any error on the PCI devices or etc. All these things can be detected here. It's not necessary that everything and every time it will be get registered there, but yeah, sometime it happens. Okay, so just remember D messages is for the bootlog messages. Okay, then CPU information if you need, what currently the CPU is going on, how many cores are there. There is the command. Okay, so you can see here what Intel Xeon CPU is currently running. Okay, cache, right? How many cores and etc. All those information you can get it from here. Same way for memory information, you can run with this command proc/meminfo. Okay, from here you can get the memory. How many memories are there in the KB, total memory, then how much is the free, how many mems are available so that it can be, utilized, right? So all these things can be utilized. Simple. In Linux, always remember to do one particular job, there is always a multiple ways. Okay, there's always multiple ways to do any particular job. So if I want to go with the free-g, this one will also give me how many memory is available. So you can see here, so total memory is 965 M, means 1 GB memory is available. That I've used 105 MB, 307 is available. Yeah, 3 is available, which is not being used. So total memory, which is right now available, is 722. So always there is a multiple way actually. If you run the command top, multiple ways I can find it. What how many memory use. You can see here, from here I can utilize, right? So there is a multiple ways actually, multiple ways to do any particular job in Linux actually. Okay, so you don't need you don't necessary to see everything, remember everything, but just be aware that these are the options. Like here you can see free-h, I just showed you, right? Okay, one more thing. So I said I have utilized one word as a PCI devices, right? PCI. That's called. You might be hearing the word PCI, peripheral component interconnect. Okay, so when I'm saying a peripheral component interconnect, actually, so a peripheral component interconnect means something like, let's suppose I'm saying that I need to because anyway, if you are in the cloud, these things are out of questions actually. Okay, these things are out of questions, you don't have to worry about it. But if you are going for the physical device, which we used to interact with earlier, okay, then there is a PCI, very concept of PCI. PCI is basically, you might have seen that there is a board inside your personal computer actually. The PCI devices used to be there. If there is a server, so PCI device will looks like this. Okay, this PCI device will be plugged on the board, and from side you can see all the board, all the panels are available, right? You can plug your the any of these kind of connectors can be plugged here. Okay, so these are the PCI. Now these PCI information also you can get from the servers. Okay, so many time it happened that now again these PCI devices still clouds are using, but good thing is we don't have to manage it actually. Okay, it's something that they will manage. It's it's AWS managed devices are there. Now if you want to get the information, this is the command, you can run this. Okay, it will give you what PCI devices that AWS is using. So Intel and all these information that okay, there is a command called DMI decode. It will give you the setting of your BIOS. Again, in virtual concept, the BIOS concept is not there. BIOS means nothing but when you're in hardware, right? What information have been shared actually, that information is being can be get detail, that information you can get from the DMI decode command. Okay, now we'll come on the lab 3. Okay, I'll just go through quickly because these are a lot of commands are there, so you can just run it. Okay, there is a. I'll just give you. Remember, these are not going to be your any examination. If you're going for examination, this is not going to be. So if anybody new is there, for them, due to the Linux, it could be very useful for them. Okay, so like top command is the basically uh, whatever the processes are running currently. And yeah, one more thing, if you're preparing for DevOps and Linux interview, then this documentation is going to very good, very helpful for you. Because I told you, I still being asked for Linux questions, and these are very common questions. Very common, answers that I used to give. VM state, top, they're very useful till now. Okay, so I will cover it. Let's have a break. It's almost 1 hour, so I'll just come back and then I'll show you again. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
10 minutes, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey guys, I'm back.
Hi, Rahul.
Okay, so let's start then. Okay, so few things, as I said, a few things I'll just cover on the Linux part as well. This is very important. As I said, just note down this the commands where you're using, in which situation you'll be using. Like, I've just mentioned, like the first one is just fetching the information from the systems, how you can fetch, depending, right, what user you're using, what version of Linux that you're currently using. All these information you can fetch down, right? Then the second lab was for the hardware information. Hardware information, I think, will not be too much relevant, okay? Because these days we are mostly working on the cloud, so you don't have to worry about it mostly. And then third one is the performance monitoring. Okay, performance is very important actually. Okay, performance one will be always relevant. Either you work on the in-house, either you work on the cloud environment, performance will be always matters. Okay, so why I'm saying performance matters, performance means, when I'm saying a utilization is high, right? Utilization, how you can, how you can crack the information. Most of the time people will be coming as a DevOps engineer, or if you're working as a site reliability engineer, people will come to you, identify what's the reason why it's in cloud. That's also possibilities there, that you can on a fly you can go increase the resources, but that's not always solution, right? That's not always solution. So sometime, like, if a very simple term way, if I'll run the command as a top is a very basic command, right? Now, if you see here the total utilization, how the total utilization looks like. Okay, so there are many commands are there. If you see here, there is a VM state and IO state as well. So now I'll just show you VM state. Okay, so when I'm running a VM state, you can see here it's giving me this information about the memory, right? What memory is there, and if I run the command IO state, it will give me the information of CPU. Okay, so now if you see here, the 99%, the CPU is already in the idle state, right? Similar information you'll be getting from here as well. Okay, you can see here the utilization will be very less actually. CPU you can see almost zero, right? It means there is hardly there is any utilization. Okay, now, okay, that's directly relevant to your load average. Okay, if your resource utilization will go high, now how I can check with this? Okay, I'll run you a command. Actually, there is a stress command. Okay, so I'll run a stress testing on this machine. I'll show you that the how exactly it is increasing. Okay, and how you can identify. So let me just open a duplicate session. Okay, sudo su. Okay, so let me just run the stress command. There is I think I need to install it. So basically you don't have to do it in live environment, where it's already there. So I'm just running the stress command so that you can identify actually what exactly happening. Okay, where the the stress is coming, and how you can uh, identify, how you can see that the what happening and all those things. Okay, so let me install it first. So stress CPU 8-timeout 20. That's a command actually for 20 seconds. Okay, let me try installing it. So you don't have to do it. I'm just showing actually how actual environment works, how if the the load average will come, if the resource utilization will go high, how exactly it behaves. So I'll just install that. Okay. Google have all the answers, right? Every time. So now you can see here, I can install this time, hopefully. Yeah, doing something, got done. Yeah. Now I'm going to run the stress, right? For 10 seconds. So I will run it and then I'll show you what impact is there. Okay, so now you can see here I'm running. Let's open the another window, okay, and see what happening there. Okay, that's got run. Let's open the parallel window and try running the similar thing again, because okay, now run the similar IO state command here again. Now you can see here something is increasing, right? Idle got decreased. Okay, it means utilization is going high. Okay, so so this way, let's suppose I want to increase it further. Let's suppose I will go for 50 seconds. Okay, now we'll see what is happening. Yeah, so you can see here the utilization is going bit high. Same way, if I'll go for a run command top now, okay, I will see these commands, right? So all the stress commands is on the top consumer, CPU consumer. You can see here 7% CPU it's consuming, right? So it's a huge number actually. That's basically it's a picking it up. That means the utilization is going high now. Okay, a lot of processes are there. Now, if you see the uptime, load average will also increase. You can see the load average, right? So load average is also increasing. So this is how it works actually. So whenever these things are increasing, obviously you can run these commands, the command that I have shown you, VM state, run the VM state. If there is any impact on the memory, whether we have free, you can see here enough numbers we have. What about your IO state? What IO state is saying? Okay, if you see here that the ideal is keep on decreasing. What processes are there? The next question would be there, right? How we can identify the processes. Stop. I told you. Now there are a few more abnormal things. If you want to detect something, there are logs are there. Okay, so var log is the directory from where you can identify all your logs actually. Okay, so sorry, cd /var/log. If you go there, all the logs are there. Okay, from these logs you can identify what happening. If there any something that I need to particularly look on, all these things you can get it. Okay, so most of the time errors are reporting here in the logs. Okay, so only thing is you have to find out what time was there. When I've seen that okay, my utilization gone high, I need to check what time was there, that particular time, what logs was saying. Okay, there are multiple logs are there, messages. Then if there is any authentication logs, errors are there that you can check on the auth logs. All these things you can identify, right? So these are the way actually, and there is a these are the way how you can do your performance management. There is lot of command. I would say that there is in the in performance management. It's not small thing. There are a lot of commands are there that you can run and identify, but these are the just the basic thing I'm telling you. Okay, how you can start looking into the if there is any report is coming that the performance is not good on my machine. Yeah. So just remember these things, running these things. Okay. For user management, I'll not go in detail. These are just small commands you run on your machine and see what they are doing. ID last means who logged in the last, who, W, that's a similar commands. Who logged in. Okay, then if I need to create a user, right? How to create a user, that also you can app create a user and the groups, everything. That command I have given you don't have to do it, because on Linux these days actually it's very rare that you'll be adding users and on the local Linux, because most of the time most of the things are being managed via some of the Active Directory tools and etc. But for namesake, just be aware, right? User add, group add, these are the Linux commands actually. So if anywhere locally these things are being managed, you can utilize these commands. Okay, so just go through, just deleting. These things are very basic thing I've just given. If anybody is new here, how they can read, write, delete, and etc. Process management, networking is also basics one. What else? Yeah, so installation, you might be aware. For installation, how you can cover installation, there are a few way actually how you can do. Like yum is one of the way, yum, RPM, and D package in the if you go for the Ubuntu. Okay, if you're going for, let's suppose I want to install it into the Ubuntu. So first of all, you have to identify. What is the version, where in which Red Hat, in which Linux version you are running with. Okay, if you're running with Ubuntu, you have to see there are depackaging. I think depackage, that's command is available there in Ubuntu. If you're in the Linux or in Amazon Linux, either in the Amazon Linux or Red Hat Linux, the yum is very good command. RPM is also one of the solution. Okay, so read about it if you are interested in Linux. If you're not aware, if you might be already aware, but if you're not aware, what is the difference between yum and RPM? So RPM was the basic one actually, where you can install one by one packages. Uh, yum is something yellow dog update manager actually. So it just solve all dependencies. Okay, I'll not go in detail. There is a configuration and property configuration file basically that you can configure and you can control like how your yum will work. Okay, yellow dog update manager and etc. So go through in detail. In nutshell, I will say that it's being used for installation purpose. Simple. Okay, if any package is needed, how you can utilize, just be aware. So I, in front of you, right, I was trying to install the stress, right? That's one of the tool. So I've just given yum install stress, that's it. Okay, but again, sometime you might have seen here that when I was trying to install stress, I was getting error that stress is not available, right? So what I did, I'll just show you in the history. Okay, so might be I'll just send you this one as well, just in case if you really stress on Amazon Linux 2. Yeah. So these are the commands actually you can run. Now you can see here why generally these commands directly should work, but I didn't, it didn't work initially. The reason behind it, because you have to go for this. There is a repository called EPIL. Okay, that's repository you need basically. If that repository is not there, so this package is available within that repository. Okay, so I'll just show you where exactly I'm talking about that repository. So if you go there in cd/etc/yum.repos.d, okay, this is the EPIL repository, right? This one is something, this one I have just installed via this command, this one. If this EPIL repository is not there, the EPIL repository is not there, I will not be able to install my stress one, because stress is not available in the general which Amazon is giving my repository. So basically repository is nothing but you are telling your operating system how to install, from where you can install, actually from where you can get the packages. Okay, that location you are providing into the repositories actually. Okay, so that's why EPIL is the repository from where we can download the packages. That's the reason. I have installed EPIL first and then tried installing the okay, then okay, installation is done. You can see here yum install stress. Okay, why is being used? Just to give the auto configuration, so that auto completion. So I don't need that, because whenever you go for installation, it will ask you whether you want to install or not. Okay, so you have to pass yes. Okay, if you don't want, just use -y. Okay, so this is the way. Actually, this is just a basic thing of yum yellow dog update manager. If you are already aware, fine. Okay, if not, just you can go through these commands. These are the basic commands, but very useful, very handy, and it's being used everywhere. Okay, so as I said, for today's one, there is day 2, 3 things we are going to use. The first one is basic of Linux that we have just captured. Okay, the second thing that I'm going to cover is introduction of DevOps. Okay, this is going to be, because remember we are going to talk about the DevOps as well. Okay, and how the DevOps culture looks like, what we are doing, and then we'll target the third section of this today's deliverables, which is security in AWS. Okay, so we'll start AWS. We'll start on the DevOps part. Okay, then we'll come in the, just hold on. Okay, otherwise let's do it other way around. Okay, so let's start with the security in AWS. Okay, and then DevOps is just a concept. So why I'm saying there are some practical things are also available in the security. I don't want to bore you completely. Okay, so if DevOps has got this DevOps is because it's a totally theoretical things will be there. Okay, that I'm just going to speak on that. Okay, so if I'll cover it today, it's fine. Otherwise, tomorrow will be the Docker class that we are going to have. So in Docker, we are going to have a lot of practicals. Okay, so practicals and theory will be good combination. Yeah. So I'll try to cover the introduction in security. Introduction to security in AWS today, so that you'll get to idea. You'll get an idea that how exactly the security works in a in any cloud providers, or any cloud providers, how they are they are very confident. They are saying that anything which is coming in our platform, that's completely secure, right? On what basis they are saying? Okay, now because it's a publicly available platform. Obviously, whenever you decide to go for cloud, that's a first thing. That's the first thing will be coming in your mind, right? How you're going to measure, how you're going to hold the security things, right? How you're going to make sure that the any attacks from outside are not happening in your infrastructure, right? So lot of money and the time that AWS and other cloud providers are putting in the place to make sure that the security is happening. Okay, but yeah, we'll discuss about it. It's not only AWS responsibility. There are some responsibilities are shared with the customers as well. When I'm saying customer, can be either me or you. So whoever is utilizing, consumer, I would say, whoever the consumer, so their responsibility as well to make sure that the security is been tightened. Okay, so we'll talk about whose responsibility is what. Okay, theoretical, then there are some practice session as well that also will try to crack on. Yeah, any questions before we move on? Oops. Okay, so let's drill it down. Okay, so security, as I said, right? So security have two arms in cloud computing. When I'm talking about security in cloud, it have two arms. Okay, two arms. Okay, we have to see who is responsible for what, right? Because if AWS is responsible for something, then we have to be a bit sure that, okay, they must be doing, because they have to sell their products, right? They cannot have any loopholes or flaw in their systems, right? They will make sure to give us 100% security. But yeah, we have to be aware what they are doing for the security purpose so that we can give that confidence, right? So simple. Remember, I told you on the day one, right? So when we are going in front of our client, our manager, to decide, okay, let's jump on the cloud, right? Why we are running here? So as I said, their first question would be always why, right? Why cloud? So you will say, okay, these are the reasons. Okay, so security is also one of those reasons. Actually, we have to tell them that, okay, on the security wise, it's a very tight security that the cloud providers are providing. Okay, so the same answer that uh yeah, Sunil, go ahead.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. Quick questions. Are we doing like any hands-on as part of this
Yeah,
particular module?
this one we are going to do the hands-on.
So for hands-on, you will need like a Linux machine running, right? On cloud.
Linux machine will be is going to be needed everywhere, Sunil. But
Got it.
whenever there is a need, right? Let's for today actually. Okay, for today we are going what we have in the lab plate. So IAM users and roles are there, right? So for this one actually, this Linux machine is not needed. So let's suppose you have created Linux machine for this practicals, right? So you
Okay.
can terminate it tomorrow when we'll start for Docker. Again, we need a Linux machine. So for Docker,
Okay.
we can create a fresh machine.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Okay.
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 Okay. So security, as I said, there is a two aspects of the security in the cloud. So that aspects we are going to discuss here. Okay, so it's just all the services, what all the services are being there. this is the important one. Who manages which part, right? As I said, that's understanding is very needed, very much needed. And remember, key focus on question why, right? Why cloud computing? Okay, so we'll still trying to find the answer why we should go for the cloud computing. Security is the main aspects, right? If you're not confident enough on the security, you cannot move on the cloud because security it's a public platform, so very first thing. So on security front, we'll try to answer uh, how it's so secure and why we can say that okay, yes, cloud is best solution for our uh, applications and our infrastructure. Okay, so in that there are two parts. Okay, so that's called that's very common. That's very common model, security model, that is called AWS shared responsibility model. Okay, shared responsibility model. Okay, well, now as I told you, when I'm saying shared responsibility model, it means the security in AWS is cohesive, or I would say that it's a uh, the responsibility is coming on both the shoulders. Okay, it's a AWS as well as the customer as well. It's a cohesive responsibility action. Okay, so some sort of things is responsible with the customer. Some sort of things is on the AWS. Now few things I'll discuss on the AWS first, and then we'll discuss about the customer that we have to take care. Ours is very important because that we have to implement, right? We should be very sure how to implement. The AWS one is fine. We can just understand what they are doing. Okay, if you are aware, fine. So on AWS side, you can see here. So for AWS, what's the main thing, right? Remember how AWS is running. They have a physical machine. They have, okay, let me try to draw some pictures actually, how exactly it is. Okay, so okay, so if I'll say now in a simple way, let's not drag into the some. Okay, so now let's suppose that's AWS form is there. That's a completely AWS place where they are keeping their resources. Resources, when I'm saying resources means AWS is giving you the computers, storage, network, right? And they are giving you in a virtual form, right? In a virtual form. It means they must have those physical computers somewhere. Okay. Now remember when I was briefing you, on that on other day, yesterday actually, how exactly the virtualization works, right? So virtualization, I told you, the virtualization would be something like this. Okay, so there must be, let's suppose there are 3 different machines are there. Okay, this is the way. Okay, these are the three physical machines are there. Okay, so let's suppose the 3 physical machines are there. On top of this physical machine, I have installed a software called hypervisor. Okay, this diagram will come here. Okay, now let's suppose I said hypervisor I have installed. Okay, and using this hypervisor, okay, using this hypervisor, I can create multiple EC2 systems. Okay, as I said, it can be, let's suppose one Amazon EC2 can be Windows based, another can be based on Linux, another can be Ubuntu. So depending on your need, you can create these things, right? Now, before this, before these things, EC2. Now, who create this EC2? So EC2, creation of EC2 actually is our responsibility. I'm talking about when we talk about hold on. Okay, so this one is customer responsibility, the EC2 creation, but hypervisor and physical, basically these things AWS is keeping into the uh, this way. Okay, now this container where you are keeping all these things, that's called a data center actually. Okay, where you are keeping it, that's called a data center. Okay, data center, or you can call as a availability zones as well. Okay, availability zone or data centers, okay, where you are keeping all these information. Okay, now if we talk about the security of availability zones and regions, okay, multiple availability zones and the multiple data centers will create a regions actually that we'll talk about in depth. But for now, just understanding, for your understanding, keep in your mind that multiple data centers can create your region actually. Okay, so security of these things is completely AWS responsibility, right? It's AWS responsibility who, uh, you know, okay, it's totally AWS responsibility. Okay, but if we talk about this security, right? So security of EC2, how I'll make sure that how the security of EC2 is being managed, those things are our responsibility as a customer responsibility, because now in AWS one there is no control. I cannot control anything, right? So obviously I cannot do something, right? It's a totally AWS managed. Okay, it's a totally AWS managed form, so it's a totally responsibility with the AWS. And then on top of this infrastructure, whatever being created, it's not only talk about EC2, it can be RDS, it can be S3, whatever we are creating, right? On top of this platform, whatever will be created, that will be the customer responsibility. That's me and you. Okay, so we don't have to focus a lot on the what AWS manage. Okay, we have to focus something that we manage. Okay, so the similar one, the one that we have to manage, that we are going to talk about here. Okay, so that we will focus on the, so hopefully you understand, right? What is our role? Our role is something, whatever the assets that we are going to, or we are resources that we are going to create inside AWS. Okay, that is our responsibility. Okay, so there is a two term called uh, in the cloud and off the cloud, security of the cloud and security in the cloud, right? So when I'm saying security of the cloud, it means the outer perimeter. So when I'm saying the security of outer perimeter, that's not your responsibility. Okay, that's something that that's something with land with the AWS and other cloud providers. They will take care. Okay, when I'm saying security in the cloud, then it's your responsibility. Okay, so you have to make sure that security in the cloud is being security in the cloud of security in the cloud is completely taken care by you. Okay, so okay, so this is the same thing you can see here. So customers are responsible for their security and compliance in the cloud, and AWS is responsible for the security of the cloud. Okay, so this is how the segregation works. We will talk about our security, what we can do to make sure that the security is being achieved from our side, right? All these things we are going to discuss. Okay, so customer, there is a IAM, there is a identity and access management. That's a very important tool that I'm going to show you immediately. Okay, so how it works, what we are doing with the IAMs, how we can manage that access and all those things that we are going to talk about just now. Okay, so you'll get to know that how exactly IAM works, how we can delegate the access, how we can limit the access actually. Okay, all those things we are going to talk about just now. Okay, so identity access management that we are going to talk about. Identity access management, right? What we can do, the password policies are there. A route we can manage, the keys we can manage. Okay, mainly the roles is the very important thing that we use to manage from there actually. Okay, so let's jump on. I think the other things are just a common thing. Okay, so let's jump on the AWS IAM management. Okay, so that I can just show you. Okay, so IAM is the place from where you manage the security. Security, when I'm saying a security, right? So security means one very important aspects of the security is access, right? Which level of access is being given to whom, right? What is the access is needed and what access you're giving. That's very important, right? You should not give, let's suppose somebody new joiner. Okay, he's not supposed to get the full access, but you have provided the full fledged uh, full fledged access to him. That's a problem, right? It should not be. If you give in that way, then there is a chances of mistakes. Okay, so you have to avoid that. To avoid those things, what you can do, same thing we will be discussing, how you can limit the access. Okay, so for access purpose, there is a one and final solution is called IAM. Okay, so we are going to talk about IAM. It's called identity and access management. Okay, I'll search for IAM. Okay, so here is the IAM. Actually, from here we can manage everything, the users. There is a three different things. That's main thing that we need to understand is users, roles, policy, and the group. There are four things actually. So we'll see how they work actually. Okay, how they are. So very basic thing is user. Okay, now remember, whenever you logged into AWS, actually, whenever, let's suppose I'll log out and I'll show you. Okay, so when I'm logging here, right? Okay, when I'm logging here, there is a two option is coming. One is the root user, another one is the IAM user, right? One is the root user, one is the IAM user. So IAM user means, a root user means somebody who owns the account actually. Okay, somebody who owns the account. But there is a possibility of IAM users as well. So when I click on the IAM user, it will ask me to give me the account aliases or account ID name, actually. Means somebody else account, somebody else can log in. Okay, that's how the, if you go in any of the environment, right? Any if you go start working somewhere, you'll never get chance to log into the root user, because the root user will be only one, and somebody who has the master credentials and the master access, they only will be logging with the root user. Okay, so now let's suppose I will give this access. Let me log in. Okay, let's jump into the IAM. Okay, go in users. Okay, whatever users are there, let it be. I'll create a okay, I'll just delete this.
Rahul, are these like the users and groups that you have like on the Unix system, or totally different thing?
No, that's a completely different one, Sunil.
Oh, okay.
That's a completely different. I'll just show you. The one that we have on the AWS on the Linux machine, that's a completely different.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, remember this
No
one
links.
is,
Yeah, no, I got it, because even if you have a Windows machine, you will still do this. I got it.
that's correct. Yeah, this one is only to access your AWS section. Within AWS, what you can do, that is being managed via AWS. Okay. Now,
Basically, who can do what, right? That kind
right,
of.
who can do what? That the like I'll give you the access right away. Actually, if you guys wants to try, if anybody wants to try, I'll create some users. I'll give you and I'll show you how I can play with your accesses. Okay. If I want you to, I want you to create EC2, you can create. If I don't want you to create EC2, you can't create it. Okay, so that's how actually it has been managed. Okay, so controlling everything, these are very common work. If you go there in any industry, you have to do it actually. Okay, so I'll just let me just clean it. Nothing should be there. Okay, now let's try creating one user. Let's suppose I'll give it, how many members are there? Anyone wants to give a try? I think somebody else got joined. Okay, that's a Francis account itself. Okay, anyone wants to give a try?
Yes,
Accessing?
I will try.
Sunil?
Yes.
Anyone else? I'll create users for you as well if somebody wants to give a try. Okay, so I'll just create. Okay, so I got clearance from Sunil only. So let's anyway, the others can follow. So you know how. Okay, so what I'm going to do it, I'll give you some. Now there is two things, right? I can give you some password, a simple password, and that password you can go and I'll give you a simple password, and you must have to change it first time. Okay, so I'll give you the simple name, your password and name, and both are the same. Anyway, you have to change it. There is no. Okay, so that's a problem. Oh my God, horrible names. Horrible password. Okay, let me just note down somewhere. So I'm giving it Sunil and the password is this. Now this one is very important. This one is very important is what is the permission that I want to give you. Okay. Now there is a few things are coming, right? Group is one of the permission. I'll save you. I'll show you from the group as well. So let's talk about simple users permission. Okay. So if any other user already have some permission, that permission I can copy here. And there is a third option called attach existing policy directly. Okay. So if I want to attach some policy from here, that policy will give the access to the Sunil election. Okay, so let's suppose I don't want to give any access for now. Okay, and I'll say I can add these permission anytime because I'm an administrator, right? That's how the people are managing actually. Okay, so I would suggest not to give any permission for now. Okay, I'll go next, review, create user. Okay, and this is the place from where Sunil have to log in. So Sunil, I'm just giving you a message.
Okay.
That you can just try login with. Okay, so basically what will happen, I'll just show you. If you can just log in and share a screen for 2 minutes, then once you logged in, obviously, then just share your screen and I'll show you with the colleagues or mates that, I've not given any permission, but still Sunil will be able to log in to my account, remember. So that's how it happened. There will be one centralized account. There will be one centralized account. The similar account is being used for the multiple team members actually.
Just 1 second. Okay, I'm working on it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Just logged in and then let me know. I'll just.
I need to open another browser because this one is already logged
That's
in.
fine. Take your time. No hurry.
Almost done. It's asking me to change the password. Maybe I can.
Yeah, you have to change some password.
Yeah. So let
That's
me.
a
It's asking me
security way.
Yeah. So, and I think I have to do that because it doesn't have the. So I'll change the password with the same password.
That's fine. Do it, no
Oh
problem.
no, it says you have to have put different password. Okay.
It's asking for different password.
Yeah, it doesn't. That
So
one.
they are also, they know that we are very lazy.
Okay. Oh,
Something I think it will be
it
uppercase,
doesn't.
lowercase.
Let me. Oh, so this is the password. The password I'm using is the same one. Asking me to confirm the same password again. So I'm doing that. Maybe I have like an extra space or something. So I'm just adding another underscore to the same password.
Okay.
Okay, it worked. So let me share. I should share my screen now, right?
Yep.
Just a second. Let me go where is it? Sorry, where is the Zoom now? It's a little confusing here how Zoom got disappeared on my screen.
Just give me a moment. Let
Just a
me.
second.
I'll make you permission. Then only I think you can do it. Now I think you can do it.
Okay. So now, yeah. Okay. So now I can say. Yeah, share screen. Okay. Yeah. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm logged in here, and then it asking me to go.
That's fine. That's
Yeah.
just next phase. Okay. So now what I'm trying to show you here, Sunil, Adele, and Bernie, Francis. Yeah. So basically, you can see here that's my account where Sunil got logged in. Yeah. So in this way, actually, how we can do one single account per region. I can have it, and whoever is joining, let's suppose Sunil got joined. I have just given Sunil username and some password I have given, and I asked Sunil to change password. Okay. Same way I can create a user for Bonnie. Same way I can create a user for Francis and Adele as well. Okay. So you guys can also. So I'm just giving you a demo here, right? So these kind of things generally happen. Okay. So a root user will be only used. Now there is a possibility. Okay. So root user is just one, right? Like, for where, for the bank where I'm currently working, there, almost 257K people are working. Okay. 257,000. So obviously one or two user is there, one or two root users are there. For them, managing everything is almost impossible, right? He cannot, one person alone cannot manage this 2 lakh people, right? So what's the possibility? Okay, now there is a possibility that I can make Sunil as an admin. Okay, I'll give all the permission. I'll delegate my all the permission to Sunil, and I can ask the Sunil, go ahead and create the users for other people as well, so that they can also connect. Yeah, that's a very much possibility. But yeah, for those things, the delegation should be worked from the primary users first, for the first time. Like, Sunil, if you try to try accessing EC2 something, Sunil, like EC2, just try accessing. I don't think you'll be able to do that, because I've not given you any permission for now. Try launching one EC2 instance. Yeah, everything. That's API error. You can see, right?
Right.
Right now,
Everything is logged in.
yeah, what I'm going to do it, I will just add one permission to you. Just give me a moment. Let me share my screen again.
Actually, I'm able to do that. Looks like.
No, you can't do it, actually. Just go ahead.
Let's just try.
Just try it out. It will give
Call
you
it
error.
Sunil. Okay. And
Anything. Keep it everything default. Don't change
the
anything.
name here.
Just say launch instance.
Okay.
No. Name anything can be there, Sunil.
Name
There is
can
a
be
launch
anything.
instance.
I'll just call it Sunil so we can.
Yeah. There is a right corner.
Everything
Right.
is same. Instant type is. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you are right. Nothing I can do. It doesn't let it.
You can't do
Like
anything because
little strange that it
I've-
lets you come to this screen, but you can't
I
do
have
it.
not given you any permission.
Correct. Makes sense.
Okay, now I'll just show you. Just keep your screen in the same way. Let me share my screen, and I'll show you a few other things. A trick there. How Okay, now hopefully you're able to see my screen. Okay, there is a
Yes.
possibility of sending email as well, like login credentials if I want to send it. Okay, now if I come here in the users, okay, so there is a two-way action. Okay, one thing is I can add some policies. Okay, always remember the policies are being managed. The policies are being managed with the users. There are policies. That policies are being connected to the users. Okay, policies. What policies are there? I'll come on the roles. Don't be worried about it. Policy is nothing but it's define what exactly you're going to do. Okay, so now let's suppose I'll say EC2. Let me search for EC2. What all the so now you can see here there is a EC2 full access. There is a EC2 read-only access as well. Okay, what this read-only access is there? So I'll go say read-only access. Okay, and I am saying EC2 describe all these things. Only describe, right? Describe means you can just see, right? Nothing else you can do. Okay, so these are the policies. These are the policies. Depending on the policy, what policy that you are attaching to the user will be able to do the particular work. Okay, so when I'm saying EC2 read only, if I'll give the read only to Sunil for now, Sunil will be able to see the error which is coming for Sunil that he is not able to see even for now. That will be fixed. He will be able to see this at least, but he will not be able to create EC2 machines. Okay, at the same time, if I'll go for this policy, and remember, it's not necessary that you choose something policy which is already there. You can create your policy as well. Okay, what do you have to do? It simply just copy this content, modify as per your requirement. Yeah, that's it. Now you can see here EC2 full access. Yeah, so here you can see everything is allowed. It means whatever you want to do in EC2, let's do it. Okay, that's a full access. It's it's being given to you. Okay, so that's how your policies work. So policies get attached to users. Okay, users got attached to the policies. I'll just see if I have any diagrams here for IAM. They don't have the detailed one. I need to prepare one. That's fine. Okay, so now let's attach one policy to Sunil. So at least I can open his hands. Okay, so let's me give a policy called full access. Yeah, EC2. Okay, I'm sorry. This is the policy section, right? I need to attach it. So how you can attach it? Again, you have to go in groups, users, go in Sunil place, okay, and add a permission here. Okay, so here you'll be getting option attach existing policy, and I will say EC2 full access. Yeah, this is the one. And I'll say next, add. That's good. It's got added. Yeah. So it means that I have just given you the permission for creating EC2 machine full access. I've just given you. Now, if you give a try, Sunil, just if you just share screen now and try
Okay.
doing it. You might get if the similar error, then you might have
I'm
to
gonna
just
refresh this so it kind of picks up the
refresh it.
changes, right? I'll just call it just my machine.
Yep.
Okay, and yep, I can see it now.
Yep.
Doesn't
Try
give
launching it.
a-
Try launching it. Any instance. You can
I'll do
free
D2
tab. Just choose
micro
the free
and
tab. Networking. Yeah. Choose your key. The new one. Yes. And networking section is important. Just edit it. Because I think VPC also you have to choose.
So do the existing or this one?
Yeah, and just do the edit. There is a edit button, right? On bit up. Yeah, go from there. Yeah. Choose your VPC.
Okay.
Yeah, the VPC one you have to choose. Okay. No, you're not choosing your VPC now. There is a VPC, there is a two VPC actually. So you have to choose VPC one. Remember, we are working in the
Oh
VPC
yes,
one,
yes,
right? Yeah.
yes, yes.
So here and you have to choose the subnet as well, which is private. Now remember, this is my account where you're working. Sorry, choose the public subnet. I'm really sorry. Okay, auto assign public IP as well. Say enable. Okay. Now remember, I have created a security group as well, right? Ideally, that should be listed here. Yeah, select the existing one. Ideally, it should be there. Here you go. AWS 10 I have created, right? In the morning. That's it. So everything, whatever in my account is there, that you got access. Now I'll do it, launch it.
I want to have the key, right? Doesn't it need a key?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question actually. You don't have key. You don't have key actually. A key is already given there, but you don't have the key for now, right? How you're going to access it, right? So
Yeah.
that's the question. Now, Linux instances, if you want to access them, that's a separate procedure actually. Okay, so that can be controlled a separate way because key we cannot share with you, right?
Right.
So now you can see here there are two machines which I am already running. Okay, and you got the access for the third one.
Right.
But you won't be able to access because the key you don't have. Okay.
If I try connecting this one, it's not going to connect, right?
No, you'll be failing it for sure.
Right, right. Yeah, it won't connect because I don't have the key. Right. Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. No, I got it.
Yep. Okay. So now that's a different one actually. I'll one more thing. If you wants to create now, I have given you permission on the only for EC2. Remember, there was a specific EC2, right? Now, let's suppose you want to create a user for anybody. Let's suppose you want to create for Adil, Bernie, Francis, any one user. Just try to create one user. Let's suppose for Bernie. Go in identity access management. Yes. So the way I'm saying, right, one person cannot do everything. So generally he delegate the work. Now you can see here, it's showing you don't have permissions, right? So hopefully you got it. Why it's saying? Because I'm not giving you the permission.
Yes, makes sense. Yeah.
Right? Permissions I have given you only to do the EC2, not anything else.
Yeah. So only thing, let's say I'm a system administrator and I need to provision machines, then that's all I can do to other teams.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. A new person is there. I don't want to mess with you to do the users, right? I don't want to give you the permission.
Right.
Okay. These are the ways actually. These are the ways actually how you can play around. Okay. Now for identity access management, now generally what will happen? Generally full access will not be given to anybody. Okay. How people are doing? They will give you a level to level. Okay. Now let's suppose you came to me. You said, okay, I need identity access management access as well. So definitely I'll be happy. Let's explore that one as well. So if I want to give you the, let me share my screen. Okay, so I have given you two permission for now. One was for changing your password. Another one is the Amazon full access, right? Let's try adding one more policy, adding one more permission. And again, you have to attach it from the, okay, let's search what we have for the IAM. Okay, so we have that called IAM full access. So if I'll give you IAM full access, there is a read only as well. If I'll give you read only, you'll be only allowed to the read only. But let's give the full access. Okay. Now can you give it a try, Sunil? I think you should be able to create a user now.
Let me see my screen again.
Here you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can do that, yeah.
So this is the way actually. This is way. Hopefully, Adel, Bonnie, and you guys have Francis following me, right? What I'm trying to explain here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's totally in our control. How we can now? This one is I'm showing you from the top of the ground. Obviously, there is a lot of things can be done. There are a lot of uh, automation can be done. Mostly things are being done by automated way. How you can do the automation, how you can create it, how you can do all those things. That's a separate part actually. Uh, that's also there. But this is the way actually how we can control it. So policies and user. Okay, there is one more concept of uh, groups actually. So group is I think you might be already aware. So group is nothing but the way let's suppose multiple users are there. If I want to manage access for the multiple users, I can manage via the group section. Okay, so I can add 3-4 users, all the 3-4 users in one group. Okay, and I'll just give those that user I'll just give the permission to the group actually. So it will be applicable for all the users. Okay. Okay, so this is the way actually. Okay, and if you anytime you feel that you want to reduce the access, you're full free. Simple. We don't have to do anything. Simple. Just go here, say detach. Okay, and say here detach. Okay, now even though Sunil is able to access my account, in my account he is able to come inside, but he will not be able to do anything, right? And if you want to control it that he is not able to jump in as well, simple, just go ahead and delete it. That's it. Okay, so it's a simple but the one thing is there that if you go in industry actually, like where I'm currently working or I have worked in the past, I've seen it will never be worked it will be never in so easy way actually. Okay, it will be always a complicated way. Okay, the access things will be always complicated. It will be federated account most of the time. It will be coming from the different ways, different mechanism would be there. But one good thing is you can still manage. The baseline will be always same. Baseline will be always same, and you can see like what exactly it is doing, how the users, how the roles is, how the policies are playing with. Okay, so and the groups is simple. Groups is nothing but I can create groups and I can add multiple users there. Okay, one very common concept, one very common concept is roles. Actually, I'm going to talk about. That's very important. Okay. I think we do have some practice as well on the roles. Okay, if I'll go in the labs, yes, there is a so Linux fundamentals I've covered. I am users, I think we have just done it. I am users, assigning permissions, groups and access, auditing users. Right, these things I've just shown you how you can manage via groups. Okay, there is a lab 4 called resource compliance with AWS config. Actually, you don't have to do the AWS config one, but there are some additional charges actually. Okay, so don't do that AWS config. I'll just show you quickly what exactly AWS configure is. Okay, that's fine. Then nothing else is there in there. So AWS config. Okay, before I come on the AWS config, okay, I would like to talk about on the roles actually. Okay, so what exactly the role says? What exactly the role says? Roles is the roles is being used for the services. The way policies we can attach to the policies we can attach to the users directly, right? The roles can be attached to the some services. Like if I talk about EC2, right? For EC2, let's suppose I'm a user, right? I said that I need access for EC2. So how I have given, so I have been assigned a group. I have been assigned a group so that I have been assigned a policy. That policy will give me the access, right? Now let's suppose there is a EC2 machine and there is a S3 bucket. Okay, I want to give the permission. I want to give the permission to EC2 bucket. EC2 machine to S3 bucket. S3 bucket is a storage, right? I need to give the access to them. Now, what I can do, okay? So for services, inter services access management, we are using the role section. Okay, so roles, we can create one role, we can attach some policy, and that policy can be attached to yeah, the policy can be attached to the role, and that role can be attached to the EC2 machine. That's how it works actually. Okay, so policies cannot be attached to the directly EC2, so don't confuse it. So you can see here IAM role is an identity you can create that has specific permission with credential that are valid for short duration. So roles can assume by entitle that you trust. Okay, so I'll just show you now what I'm trying to say. Okay, so okay, let it be here. I'll open another window. Okay, let's go on somewhere EC2. Okay, so if you click on this one, actually, this is the CLI cloud cell. That's called a cloud cell actually. So trying to start. Okay, let's keep on filling. Okay, leave it. Okay, so what I'm trying to show you from here, that the let's suppose I have a EC2 machine, right? I have EC2 machine, and from my EC2 machine, I want to access a S3 bucket. Okay, I want to access a S3 bucket. Even though I have this EC2 machine running in my this account, and I have all my S3 bucket, means all my uh, a list of all the buckets are running in the same account, but I'll not be able to access it. Okay, now for accessing them, you have to give some permission. You have to give permission to EC2 machine, that the boss, yes, I'm giving you permission, so that you can go ahead and read it, right? Go ahead and read the buckets. Okay, now how you can do that? Okay, for those purpose actually, you have to do it in this way. Okay, I'll just show you. I think this is not part of your uh, somewhere. I think documentation is not there for this, but roles, I'll just show you how exactly the roles works, actually, how you can create a roles, how you can assign a role, right? So my machine is already running this here. So this is the first one which I created, right? Last one which was Sunil have created. So let's connect the first one. First one I have already connected, right? So what I'm going to do it, I will attach a role. Okay, let's run a command from here. This is the same machine I have, right? AWS S3 LS. Okay, this is the command which will tell me that whether I do have access or not, whether I do have access. This is the command, simple, AWS S3 LS. It means that I'm saying, if there is any buckets it's created in S3, just list me out. Okay, it's saying there is no credentials are available, right? So we are going to sort it out. Okay, so I'll just show you whether we do have anything in S3. So I'll just show you. Yes, if you click on S3 in my account, I think you might be having already something. So you can see here Rahul Paushal, that's one bucket I have already created in my account. Yeah. So ideally this should be listed, but it's not listing. What is the solution? So as I said, roles is the solution here. Okay. So what I'm going to do it, I will create one role. I'll create one role and I'll give it I'll attach a policy to that role and attach that role to the EC2 instance. Okay, don't confuse it. I'll just try to prepare something for you. Okay, so it should be something like EC2 machine. Okay, then IAM roles. And then policies. Okay, any policy. Think about any policy. It's not exactly one, but let's suppose this is the policy actually. So the policy will get attached to role. Okay, and then role will get attached to your EC2 machine. Okay, this is how this entire things will work. Okay, let's start doing it. So what I'm going to do it, I will create one role. I will create one role here. Okay, and I'll attach this policy here, then try attaching this role to the EC2 machine. So let's do it. Okay, so how you can do that? Roles, as I said, the very first job is creation of roles. I'll create a role. I will say AWS service. Yes, that's fine. Choose your EC2 because we need access for EC2 itself, right? Say next. Okay, I want to attach some policy. Now I need a S3 related policy. Yeah, let's see what policies are available. So this is the full access. I'll just give the full access. It's also a similar kind of. I have to give name, so I'll give S3 full access. Yeah. Okay, I'll say create role. Remember what name I have given? S3 full access. Yeah. So I'll just try to note down here. So what roles we are going? So as I said, instance. Sorry, the very first one will be policy. Policy will be get attached to the role, right? And this role will be get attached to the instance. Okay, so what we did, we have just created this role. Okay, and this was the policy which we have attached to S3 full access. Remember, I've just searched from there, right? This was the policy name. I've just attached with this role, and I've given this role name. This is the role name, right? Now what I'm going to do it, I'm going to attach this role to my instance. How I can do that? So simple. Go there, your instance, EC2. Running instances. Okay, this is the one, right? Now what I'm going to do it, I have to attach it. Yeah. So let's come down. Otherwise, you can get it from here as well. Go in security, and here you go your IAM role. There is no IAM role is attached, right? So I need to attach one IAM role. What I have to do it. Okay, so I have to go in action, security, modify IAM role. Yeah. Remember this action. So action, security, and modify IAM role. If you want, I'll just note down. Attaching role to instance. So you have to go action, security, then final one is modify attached role. Okay, modify IAM role is there. Sorry. So I'll just choose here what role is populating here. You can see your role is populating here. I'll say and update it. Okay, so ideally it's all done. Now, if I'll go here, ideally, it should be working. There you go. You see? So when I'm running this command, earlier it was giving me error that you don't have you don't have any credentials. Now I'm able to run the command. How it got possible? Because the credentials I got it from from this role, right? This role, which I have just attached to EC2 instance. Because of that, I'm able to run this command. If you really want to see, I'll just detach it again from here. Go in security again, modify IAM role, and I will say no IAM role. And say detach. Okay, let's run it again. Gone. Got it? So now you can confirm 100% that the access which is coming, that coming via that role itself. So role, groups, users, and policy. Okay. This is very important concept, guys. Very important concept that will be used everywhere. Wherever you go, either you are going for examination, either you are going for interview, either you are going to walk somewhere. And if you are walking already, you must be aware this is very common questions, a common a common topic that everywhere the IAM is everywhere. You have to utilize it actually. So any questions around it? No, all good. Okay.
That's good.
So that's all about one thing, the last one thing, that introduction of DevOps that I'm going to cover it tomorrow. Okay. One thing that I would like to cover it from this documentation is, I told you AWS config. There is a practice set I have given you for AWS practice. Don't do it. Okay, because there will be some charges. And I'll just show you what exactly AWS config. Okay, so basically what exactly AWS config is doing, AWS config is nothing but a kind of inventory, right? Inventory you can create one place, right? So it's a big account, right? Let's suppose one account, let's suppose my account itself. Okay, if I shared my account with you, Adel with you, then Sunil, Bernie, Nasima, Francis, right? So 4-5 people are using. Now what they are doing, okay, that's fine. I have given certain roles to everyone. Okay, I have given some certain different role to Francis, Bernie, some different role to Sunil and Adel, right? Different roles. I have, for someone I've given EC2 full access, someone I've given S3 access, someone I've given identity access management. So everybody is doing their own work, right? Now, what is the challenge as an administrator for me? The challenge is that it's for me, it's very hard to understand what all the things are being done, what all the resources are being created. Yeah. Okay, what you're doing, okay, how many resources got created, what the billing status, yeah, everything. Okay, for those purpose, AWS have came up with the some configuration. AWS have came up with some configuration. Using these configuration, if you're using this AWS config app, that will just make sure that you have the inventory of entire resources, what utilization you have. Okay, and if there is any other things which is not as per the if there is something which is not uh, you know as per the standard, that will be also taken care by them. Okay, so that's the beauty of AWS config. So any compliance check, let's suppose you have just make a wide open a firewall gateway, right? So those things they will advise you that okay, this is the firewall that you have opened completely, that should not be in this way. You can just you can make changes. So whatever the standards that AWS is following, that they will always try to advise you. Okay, so that you will not be able to, you will not be in a situation of any software counterfeiting or something like that. Okay. Sorry, I forgot to mention one more thing. So if you really want to search the role, right, the role that you have created. So if you click in this way, now you can see here I have already, I think one older O was already there. So I'll just delete this one. Like one S was missing. That's why I was able to create the similar one. The one. Okay. So now if you click on, if you want to search it, if you click here. Okay, so there is a permission boundary as well. Okay, so I can give some boundary. I can say that okay, what is the maximum role that can be given to it. Okay, there is also that limitation I can manage something that it will not go beyond that. Okay, now if you see here, permission, yep, this is the permission actually. So from here I can see what permission is there. If I want to add some permission, some attach policy, I can I can very well attach it. Okay, so all these things are options are there. Okay, simulator also you can run. Let's suppose. Okay, yeah. Simulator means if you want to give the similar kind of access, similar kind of permission you want to create, that using this simulator you can create. So from here actually the removal and attach, the similar way, the way we were doing for users, right? So only difference is for roles it is being used for services. Users is user, users is users, right? Directly you can give policy, attach policy and remove policy. Similar way, the policy can be attached to the roles and can be removed as well. Okay, so okay, so this is the way. Okay, make sure that whenever you have done for the day, okay, so whatever instances which is not going to be used, make sure terminate them. Like for today, I don't think anything is going to be used. So the one that if you have also created something, you can terminate. For tomorrow, there is a course for Docker. So if I'm not wrong, I think Red Hat 8 or 7 is required. So we'll create that one a separate, because anyway today we have created Amazon Linux. So Amazon Linux is not going to be used, I think, for Docker. Okay, not terminated. Okay. Okay, so I think we have done for the day. Anything? Okay, before we wrap up for the day, any questions from any one of you?
No, I'm
All
good.
good.
Yeah, I will get my machine working. So tomorrow we have more hands-on, right?
Yep, yep. So tomorrow we have a lot of practice to do. Okay, so
Okay.
be ready for that. Tomorrow, even though day after tomorrow as well, I think Docker we are going to do a lot of in hand. Then AWS is fine. Terraform will be also having a lot of item to do. Okay, then Puppet have a lot of item to do. AWS is fine. Kubernetes have a lot of item to do. Pipelines also have a lot of item to do. Yeah, it is going to be interesting for sure.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question before we wrap up?
I don't know.
So thank you. Thanks everyone. Thanks Adol. Thanks Francis. Thanks Sunil. Yeah. And thanks Bonnie. Thanks for your time. We'll meet you again tomorrow.
Thank you, Rahul. Good night.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Francis.